Oh, forgot. I adjusted my camera already. Wow. What happened here? Nightmare. Anyway, hi Kat. Happy you got here on time or early even. Very proud. But anyway, hi everyone. How are we all doing? Hope everyone's good. My camera setup is quite possibly the worst slash most inconvenient. Oh god. It's been so far. So let me. Okay. Now it's just at a light angle. And that's okay. That is not a crime. Wish we were meeting under better circumstances. This book's so true. And I also have a throbbing headache. So that's not the most fun we could be having either, unfortunately. Oh yeah. Well, since I have you, I I book bound this. It's just the text block, like I haven't done the also warning for the next few pages. Awesome. Cannot wait. After I procrastinate a little bit. But I'm not gonna do the cover or anything because I kind of just wanted it in paper form. But it's a book on how sewing patterns work. Let me get rid of all my paper clips. I used them to help me bind the book. It's super. But yeah, it goes like crazy in detail. About how to make patterns and stuff. So I'm kind of excited, and the way that I bound it makes it lay flat very easily. Unless you're in the middle of a signature, in which case it's a little bit harder, but nothing crazy. Which is another reason why I wouldn't want to add a cover. But I have another one that I'm making, so I stole the book, borrowed it from the same company, except it's about sewing more broadly. So it's how to start sewing or something like that. And it's like this book is like 700 pages, give or take. Yeah. 695 plus a couple stragglers to make the bookbinding process function. Cuz if you're interested, I found this really cool like web program that will set up a PDF file to make it so you can bookbind it. Like it'll like reorganize the files to or the pages in the PDF to make it in bookbinding order, because the way that it works is, I don't know if you've ever bound a book before, but they're in chunks. So this chunk you can see is a signature, and it's a set of 8 pages folded and then slipped together. So this is one page or piece of paper, and then this piece of paper is like set inside another piece of paper, if that makes sense. So you can adjust how many pages you want in a signature, and then it'll spit out a PDF that makes it book bindable for you. Which I think is really cool, because I was thinking about doing that and then doing something like printing out something I've written already and then binding it really quick. Because I think that'd be kind of cool, but I would like to edit the thing I have in mind first. So I don't know. I'll keep you posted on that. Um I was I was supposed to post more on Bug on social media or whatever. Not that I really want to, but it's more like I should, to get bigger on Twitch, etc., etc. It's definitely more of a necessity than it is an explicit want, and I would like to make that very clear. Um but I uh um I guess that could be one of the things that I talk, because I was gonna do like 2 like video posts a day. God strike me down. Um, and then one of them was gonna be art related, and the other one's gonna be project related. So I guess bookbinding could be project related or art project related, whatever. I was gonna do project showcases since I have so many projects, but anyway, I've procrastinated enough. Let's get reading. Excuse me, mouse. I have things to do, places to be. Okay. I don't remember where we were, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start here. She nodded jerkily. I know she's not a good person. I want to believe in her, but I'm not blind or stupid. She swallowed to ease the tightness of her throat. I wanted it so badly. I still want it. She was the only one that I loved for so long that I can't seem to stop. I don't want to think she knew about what Kamano was planning. I tried to run away from reading her memories, but sometimes they were just there. I got little glimpses. She shook her head. And I do think she might have known Mandic. My bad. And before Lee and Natalie, I would have wondered if I wasn't worthy of having my own mother love me. He muttered a curse. She held up her hand. No, I know I'm worthy, or Lee and Natalie wouldn't have loved me, so the fault has to lie with her. And you're damn right it does. And yet I still hope I'm wrong about her. Isn't that crazy? No, just very human. Oh, I'm definitely human. I don't know why that pissed me off so bad, but it really did. So we're gonna go ahead and bust out a cringe. She took a deep breath. So that's one lie I've been telling myself out of the way. There are more? Since Lee and Natalie died, I've been very bitter. I've been telling myself that revenge was all I had left. It seemed as if the world was filled with ugliness and pain. A good portion of your world was pretty ugly. I couldn't seem to keep it away from you. You tried. It's just something we have to work through. Ugliness and evil exist and have to be fought, and we can't lose our humanity doing it. She blinked to keep back the tears. Natalie said something like that on the night she died. She said that I knew about ugliness because I'd lived with it. She said that the thing she wanted for me more than anything in the world was for me to live every minute with joy and love, to fight the poison and not let it rob me of joy. Isn't that wonderful? She was wonderful. She smiled unsteadily. But I forgot all that when they were killed. I was so angry that I couldn't remember anything but the pain. She cleared her throat. But I remember now, and I won't forget again. I'm not going to let anyone cheat me. Not Kamano, not Praland. The fuck are these names, bro? You know, I don't know why it hit me real bad here, but it really did. She paused. Not my mother. You left me out. Haven't I always been the bane of your existence? Another lie. What have you done to me, Mandic? Saved my life? Saved my sanity? Gave me the only family I've ever had? You saw that I had an education and protection against the bad guys. I had motive. Hi, Trilla! How are you? Red card. Yeah. He manipulated you quite a bit, but sure, man, whatever. How have you been? Try to Baja Blast. Congrats. So true. It tastes like candy, which I find very bizarre. But Baja Blasts are very fun and good. Very happy to hear that you have had one. A magical experience, you could say. I'm on the edge of my fucking seat here. It's kind of like the juice. Exactly. No, you're right. You're right. It does kind of taste that way. Oh shit, where was I? Oh, okay. I had a motive. Yes, and it scared me, but your motive was remarkably selfless. Like concentrating. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Um, Cringe about the book. um. So you're not exactly the boogeyman I'd blown up to throw darts at. No, I'm the man who drew a target on your back, then brought you to the hunting ground, he said bitterly. Yes, you did, but I could have said no, and I didn't. I'm not so sure you could have said no, but sure, whatever, man. That doesn't absolve me. No, everyone has their has to bear their own share of the burden in this nightmare. Her hands clenched into fists at her sides. But now it doesn't matter any longer, because we're in it together. I found that out when I was waiting outside Kobu's tent and wondering if you'd come out alive. I was so angry with you for risking yourself with that maniac. Then I realized that it wasn't anger, but panic. She paused, because I knew I couldn't bear the thought of losing you. I couldn't stand the thought of your not being in my life. He stiffened, and a muscle jerked in his cheek. Oh shit, what's that supposed to mean? What do you think it means? This isn't easy for me, Mandic. You could help me a little. She reached out, and her palm touched his chest. Gross! We only have the sugar-free ones in our Taco Bell, though, so I imagine the US ones are even better. That's enough of that. They're reading time. I wouldn't know. I have not had a sugar-free Baja Blast. But perhaps. This was the warning, by the way. I'm seeing what you mean. And it is most unfortunate. Oh good, my favorite kind of writing style? I don't know what to call this. Format. My favorite format. Good. Can't wait to get there. She could feel his warmth beneath the cotton shirt. Somewhere along the way, you became the most important thing in my life. Even when you'd faded into the background, you were always there. That's why I couldn't let you come too close. You meant too much to me. I don't know where it's going, but it's here, and I have to deal with it. I won't ignore it. This next was harder. I want you. Ugh, gross. Yuck. You want a man named Mandic, bro? That's nasty, to be frank. But whatever. Always, every way. I don't want to miss anything. Natalie said that I should reach out for the joy. That's what I'm doing. She went on in a rush. I'm not trying to put you in a corner. I know you feel something for me too, but it might not be. She stopped as a finger touched her lips. I don't know where it's going either. His eyes were glittering with moisture. Oh my god, bro. Hell, I shouldn't be listening to you. After all you've gone through, you probably aren't thinking straight. His hand moved down to touch her throat. Ugh. Ugh. Whoa, man. Slow the fuck down, bro. But my first reaction is to reach out and grab. Maybe don't. I'm scared shitless that you're going to change your mind. Her skin was tingling, burning beneath his fingers. She could feel the pulse leap in the hollow of her throat. She reached up and started to unbutton her blouse. Okay, whoa, man. Unbutton her blouse sounds so chaste, by the way. Like, that's so funny to me. I'm not going to do that. I couldn't. But you probably know more about this than I do, so maybe you should. She broke off and inhaled sharply. He had brushed her hands aside and pushed her bra straps down, then off. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Sensual, etc., etc. Rubbing, awesome. Oh, good. I technically don't have to read this. Okay, I feel like we're done around here. Rubbing, awesome. Just being honest. She made a rude sound. Pretty well, it was great. Just because you didn't get to exercise your fantastic sexual control to impress me is no sign you were right and I was wrong. Heaven forbid. His hand touched her hair. And you're correct, it was fantastic. Fantastic? She was silent, savoring the word. It was more than that. It was joy, just like Natalie said. We reached out and closed out all the poison and let in the joy. She rubbed her cheek against his shoulder. That was 2 minutes, if not less. I know, it was like a page and a half, maybe. That's pathetic shit for real. But I'm glad I only had to skip so little. I would have felt cheated if I couldn't read more of this wonderful book. But I want more, Mandic. He chuckled. I'm at your beck and call. All I have to do is touch you and I'm... No, I don't mean sex. Not right now. I want you to hold me like this for a little while. That's joy too. Yes, it is. It's so annoying. No one fucking talks like this. Yes, it is. His arms enfolded her, and his voice was husky. Whatever you want, Allie. I want it all. She cuddled closer. Sex and this beautiful feeling of belonging. I've always wanted to belong to someone. You never let it show. You're the most independent woman I know. But you knew. You always knew what I was feeling. Gross. His lips brushed her temple. Yes, I knew. She was silent, thinking. But you couldn't let me belong to you, could you? I had to be strong and stand alone. You gave me Lee and Natalie, but that was different. That didn't interfere with what I had to do. You were already strong when I met you. He paused. His voice was husky. I pretended I didn't see it, to be honest with you. um... He paused, and you're right about the rest. I gave you what I thought I could. His voice was suddenly violent. It wasn't enough. Not then, not now. And I can't let it go on. I can't let you go into that palace with Kobu. I'll try something else. She raised her head and looked him in the eye. You will take me to that palace. You said it could work. I also said there's a margin of error. You wouldn't have done all this prep and planning if the chances weren't good. I told you that I trust you. Don't tell me you're walking away. There's too much at stake. Those children Megan told me about, the Devana's family members on Pralin's kill list. Maybe revenge could wait, but they can't. I'm not going to hide out until you find a safer plan. I'm been doing nothing but hiding for the last 7 years. Good job, editor. That's what I like to see. I can always appreciate a book whose not only the author is complacent in how bad it is, but the editor as well. That's good stuff. I appreciate that. I really do. This is what you've been preparing me for since the day I came to you. But it's not your battle any longer. It's mine. I'll find that ledger. Damn it, I'm committed, man, Dick. I can see that you are, he said between clenched teeth, and it's killing me. We'll get over it. She deliberately moved closer to him. I'm not going to give up what we have tonight worrying about tomorrow. His body was stiff and resisting. Then his naked muscular thigh was suddenly between both of her own. That's right, you want it all. Well, why not? His eyes were glittering, reckless. So do I, but I'm feeling a little frustrated and barbaric at the moment. He was parting her thighs and moving over her. Let's deal with that before we go on to gentler pastures. What the fuck are we talking about right now? Your time's up, Kobu. Okay, thank God, the crimes. The crime guys, I much prefer to be talking to them, honestly. They're more manageable. They're cringe in, like, a reasonable way. Oh, I have a tiger and I'm insanely evil. I prefer that to, oh, I have sex with people who are crazy younger than me and it's a little weird. Well, hi, Miss Bug. How many years passed? 7? I kind of don't remember. And that was something the book did kind of a bad job at, in the sense that, you, like, he took us to Lee and Natalie, and then he was like, now it's time to time skip 7 years. So you, the reader, don't truly understand the significance of Lee and Natalie. Have fun. And so then they just died randomly. Hi, Bug. That really hurts. Do you want some dinner? Are you hungry? Is that why you're over here? I'm gonna get her some dinner. I will be right back. I am going to run an ad, and I'm sorry about that. But it's just easier that way. So I will be right back. Everybody stay tight during the ad. Okay, I'm back now. The fact that she's like fucking excited for dinner is huge. Like she was basically begging for dinner. Thank you. It is good to be back. Well, you could go either way. Yay! Now she just needs to work out because she's fat. Welcome back. All good. I was just joking. Okay. We're back in. Oh, right, I was complaining. Your time's up, Kobu. Pralin's words were clipped and harsh. You promised me that you'd give me Mandic within 3 days. You failed me. I believe I'm going to have to send Brooker to escort you back here. Panic iced through Kobu. I'm close. I swear I'm close. I found a source who knows where Mandic is. You have to give me another day. You're stalling. No, you're too smart to fall for that shit. It's true. One more day. Silence. And the woman, Ali Gerard? She's with him. I'll give them both to you. Why not now, today? Mandic is tricky. I have to set him up before I can take him down. He moistened his dry lips. I would say that counts, Cat. That is unfortunate. You should know that, Praland. You haven't been able to touch him in almost 10 years. Are you insulting me, Kobu? Praland asked softly. No, he said quickly. I just wanted to remind you how hard it is to trap Mandic. But I'll do it. Give me a little more time. Another silence. One more day. If you don't deliver, I'll go another route. He paused. And you will no longer be necessary to me. Do you understand? I won't disappoint you. I'll hand him to you on a silver platter. Mandic and the woman too. See that you do. He hung up. Moistened is my activation phrase. It's so bad. What is that, like 12 now? That's too many! Put that shit away! Okay. Kobu's hand was shaking. Son of a bitch. Praland had no right to talk to him like that. He hated feeling this humiliation and fear. He'd served him better than Brooker, but he was given no respect. Praland would be sorry. Once he left the country, other people would realize that Kobu was the one who had kept Praland on top. On the dot 12. What can I say? I have a most excellent memory. I don't, but I tried to do one of those bits where I like say something and then my face does another thing. You can't see my face, so that was my bad. But you could imagine it in your mind's eye, I'm sure. But that would be Chansey too. If he betrayed him, Praland would put a price on his head. He'd be dessert for that big cat. If he betrayed him. He could still back out and hand Mandic and Ali Gerard over to Praland when they reached the palace. But there was that mountain of cash in his bank account and more to come. A new life. New lives could be scary. He could stay here and whittle at Brooker's influence on Praland. But if Praland caught Ali Gerard and not Mandic, then Mandic would be after Kobu. He had made it clear in bloody detail exactly what he would do to Kobu if he'd betrayed him. He was not certain who he feared most, Praland or Mandic. There was a good chance that he could kill Ali Gerard once they entered the palace. She was just a woman and only worthy of contempt. Okay, that's good. I love sexism. That's really awesome. It's cringe no matter who's doing it, even if he is a villain. Praland might accept her death as a sacrifice that would keep Kobu out of the tiger's cage. Then he could sound the alarm on Mandic, and if he was lucky, Praland would eliminate him and his danger to Kobu. Yes, that might work. He had options. He just had to decide where the danger was greatest and the rewards most plentiful. Wake up, Allie. It's almost dawn. We don't want Sean wandering in here to get a cup of coffee and have to scramble. She wasn't sleeping. She was just lying there, feeling flushed and sleek and totally sexual. She opened her eyes to see Mandic pulling on his clothes. Too bad, she thought regretfully. He was beautiful naked. I'm sure. Why did people think naked women were all that lovely when men had such clean, powerful lines? I don't know why, like, that feels so gay to me. I don't know how to describe it. Did you finish your dinner? Good girl, Miss Buck. Good job. Move. He leaned over and cupped her left breast. Blah, blah, blah. Sean, she forced herself to get up and begin to dress. You promised me you'd find me a pond or a lake that didn't look like a cesspool on the way to the palace. I'm holding you to that, Mandic. She wrinkled her nose. I need it. He smiled as he headed for the cave entrance. Pity. I kind of like my smell on you. Cringe. His smile faded. I'll check to make sure that Kobu hasn't made any calls to Praland. He might be getting nervous. He wasn't the only one, but the last thing she wanted to show was apprehension to Mandic. You said that he was sure that he could lead me through the palace and locate Praland with no trouble. How? Because he wouldn't have to take you inside the palace. You could go through the garden and to the terrace outside the room Praland enjoys most in the world. He goes to visit his demon tiger friend. Oh my god, lame. Almost every evening. The wing is fairly isolated, and Kobu thinks he can position you on the terrace or nearby. The tiger again. She shook her head. It's not fair to call the tiger a demon. Praland is the demon. He keeps the tiger locked up instead of letting him roam in his natural habitat. He starves him, then he uses him to do his killing. You're feeling sorry for a man-eating tiger. Demon tiger front. Really bad. Ugh, man. Who knows if he would have been man-eating if he hadn't been taught. As I said, Praland is the demon. I won't argue with that description. I'll make those calls and see if Kobu is leaning in Praland's direction. Then we'll have breakfast and set out. He looked at her. Or say screw it and let me work on another plan. She shook her head. I didn't think so. He turned and walked out of the cave. It had been hard to say no. Last night had been extraordinary, both sexually and emotionally. She wanted to be safe and cling to that fragile happiness. Admit it. She wanted to cling to Mandic. But Mandic was one of the people most in danger if she didn't locate that ledger. So finish getting dressed, get on the road. By dusk, they should have reached the palace, and her meeting with Amon Kobu. He actually loves eating people, I'll have you know. Yeah, the tiger is actually evil. So, okay. Mantic was hanging up the phone when she came out of the cave. Kobu talked to Praland during the night. She tensed. And high-level threats from Praland. Panicky reassurances from Kobu. But he didn't set up any traps or tell Praland we had an arrangement, so there's a good chance he'll go through with it. Comforting. That's all I can give you. His phone rang and he answered it. It's Renata. He held out the phone to Ellie. She wants to talk to you. Renata started talking the moment Ellie answered. I don't like this. I think my job is to give you some inspiring bullshit, but that's not for me. This is so damn important to us that I have to let you go for it. All I can say is that I'm scared for you. I'm grateful to you. I thank you for myself and for my family. I think you've got a hell of a lot of guts, and I respect you. If you get out of this alive, I'll owe you big time. Now let me talk to Mandic, okay? Bullshit-ass phone conversation, but whatever. She raised her brows as she handed the phone back to Mandic. That was an interesting conversation. I hope she lets you say something. He smiled and turned away. She'll want to make sure she gives me orders to take care of you, as if I wouldn't. But Renata thinks she has to run the world. Allie heard him talking as she turned back toward the cave. It seemed to run in the family, she wanted to tell him, but that dominant trait could be comforting when everything seemed to be attacking from all sides, and honesty was a quality that was above price. Renata's call had not made Allie feel less afraid, but now there was a warmth that had not been there before to fight the chill. Ready for breakfast? Sean asked. She wasn't hungry, but she had to have strength. Sure, why not? 10 miles from Sandic Palace, 5:15 p.m. You look a hell of a lot better, Sean said, as Allie came out of the forest, braiding her wet hair into a single braid. Where's Mandic? Coming. He's taking a quick dip. He insisted on standing guard while I took my bath. She smiled. I told him that he should trust you more. Not with you, Sean said. I've noticed that he doesn't think anyone else can take care of you. He shrugged. I understand. He's on edge. And scared. Who isn't? She did feel better after taking that dip, but her nerves were stretched raw. She was only hours away from going into that palace. Trying to get the information and still survive. I just hope it's not all for nothing. I've never tried to read anyone with a mind block. What if it extends to memory? Mandic didn't think it did, but no one knows for sure. True, Mandic walked... The thing is that if you think about it, all thoughts are a memory in some way, shape, or form. Like, can your brain take pieces of things and then smash it together into something new? Yes, it can. But it is based on memory-based knowledge. So this logic doesn't make any fucking sense. And is ultimately incorrect and also wrong. So, if this works, it's gonna be a fucking miracle, and it's also gonna be complete fucking bullshit. Good stuff. But no one knows for sure. True, Mandic walked out of the forest toward them. But if you can't do it, that's the end of it. I told you that I'd think of something else. It's a little late, she said dryly, after you've wasted 7 years on me. Not wasted. He stopped in front of her. Never wasted, Allie. He tugged gently at her braid. Those 7 years created an extraordinary human being. She had the impulse to take a step closer to him. He smelled of the fresh earthiness of the forest. His dark hair was wet from the pond and shining in the sunlight. The sleeves of his shirt were rolled up to the elbow, and she could see the sleek flex of the muscles of his forearms. She wanted to reach out and touch. She drew a deep breath and took a step back. It would be a waste as far as stopping Prowland in his tracks. We've got to hope you were right about my being able to read him. Sometimes memories are random. I'm going to try and give you a little insurance. I'll call his cell as soon as I gauge you in position and start talking to him about the ledger. With any luck, it should trigger memories. Logical. She felt relieved. She didn't know about luck, but she'd take any break she could get. She turned away. This one right here, officer. So true. She turned away. Should we get on our way? We wouldn't want to keep Kobu waiting. Not quite yet. I want to go over the route that Kobu will take you through the gardens. Hi, Bug. Can you sit down and be nice? You got dinner. That means it's sleepy time. Don't you want to take a nap? Go sleep. Go sleepy. Bug, save us. She can't. My will is too strong. Not quite yet. I want to go over the route that Kobu will take you through the gardens. He took out his computer and pulled up the palace schematic. He'll bring you in the east gate, take you west, and down the garden and pergola to the wing closest to the house. There's an ornate flagstone terrace here. His finger punched a window in the schematic. And that's the tiger room. Window number 15. If Kobu tries to take you in any other direction, be on the alert. He might be betraying you. She nodded. Oh, I'll be watching him. She looked down at the schematic. Where will you be? Not close enough, he said grimly. I want to go with you, but I can't do it. If Kobu runs into a guard, he might be able to talk himself out of it. But not if I'm along. Prowland has made sure that every one of his men knows what I look like. He pointed to the east gate. So I have to take out the sentry who guards this gate. After that, I have to make the phone call to Prowland. Then I have to take out another 2 guards on the route back into the jungle to clear a path for us to the jeep. Sean will meet you at the gate after you're finished and bring you back to the jeep. And then we'll get the hell out of there, Allie said. Those jungles will be crawling with Prowland's men once they find those sentries. I know these jungles. I spent 2 weeks dodging and hiding in them after I shot Simon. I told Renata to have a pilot and helicopter waiting about 5 miles north of here. If we get that far, Sean said. We'll get there. Once Allie's out of the palace grounds, it will be my show. And it will be about time, he said bitterly. I'll take over. I guarantee I won't let her be caught. I've got to get into the palace before we worry about that, Allie said, as she turned and got into the jeep. And we're still making Kobu wait and get edgier by the minute. I don't like that idea. See, okay, I'm getting a little worried, because consider how much we've gotten done in this many pages, right? Not fucking much. So, we're coming up on the end, right? And sure, the ultimate goal is find out where the ledger is. Whatever. But what about finding the ledger itself? Isn't that the actual end goal? Is relocating and regaining the ledger? After I shot Simon? Was it? Yes, it was. He mercy killed him. Or whatever. Which I think is some bullshit, by the way. Like, that's so... whatever. But yeah, not feeling confident that we'll actually find the ledger in a satisfactory way in this amount, but Whatever, it's fine. I didn't mean to make you uneasy, just cautious. He got into the Jeep. He may think about betraying you, but I'm 90% sure he won't do it. And I'll watch out for the last 10%, Allie said. You can bet on it. It was dusk when they left the Jeep in the jungle 3 miles away from Sandak Palace and moved warily toward the high white stone walls Allie could see in the distance. It's beautiful, she murmured. I was expecting something more like a fortress. This reminds me of a palace in an Arabian Nights tale. Pralin would like that idea, Mandik said. It brings power to mind, and he's into that big time. Hence the tiger. Yeah, he said curtly. That's a good example. He stopped. Kobu should be meeting us about 500 yards ahead. Slow down. I'm going to check the surrounding area to make sure that we don't have any other visitors. So much for 90%, Allie murmured. It still goes. I'm just not going to have much of a chance to keep you safe. I'm taking advantage of every opportunity. Take care of her, Sean. He disappeared into the brush. You heard him. Sean moved in front of Allie. I'm to display all my superpowers to keep the bad guys from making toast of you. By all means. But your superpowers have to do with odds and gambling. And bravery and keen intelligence. Don't leave those out. I wouldn't think of it. Her gaze was wandering around the palms in front of them, and she was trying to keep the tension from her voice. The walls of the palace seemed overpoweringly close. Where was Kobu? They were close enough now. He should be here. And where was Mandik? Stop! Kobu was suddenly on the trail in front of them, a rifle in his hands. She remembered that face, the mustache, those dark gleaming eyes. You are the Gerard woman, but where is Mandik? He is here. Her hand slipped down to the gun in her jacket pocket. I think he is looking for you. Stupid woman. Why don't you know? You wander through the jungle and you have no... She's not stupid. Mandik was behind Kobu. It would be a great mistake for you to assume that she is. He looked at Allie and Sean. It's clear up ahead. It appears Kobu is going to do the smart thing and make himself a rich man. You thought I would betray you? Kobu's smile was forced. Why would I do that? We made a deal. We won't discuss our deal now. He put his hand on Kobu's shoulder and pushed him away from Allie and toward the trees ahead. We'll just execute it. Give me 10 minutes. Give me 10. You think people just lie? In this book, people seem fairly incapable of lying, so, you know. I don't know why, but we won't discuss our deal now made me so suspicious. But no matter. It would be really irritating if somehow Mandik had something to do with the deal and was hiding it from Allie, and then, even though we have seen and talked to Kobu, the book throws it on us at the last minute anyway. That would really piss me off, and I'm going to cringe at simply the thought. I think I have a right to do so. We'll just execute it. Give me 10 minutes to take out the sentry at the east gate. Then you'll come and bypass the lock on the gate, Kobu. He disappeared into the jungle. I'll see you there. After you, Sean gestured to Kobu. I'll just amble along behind you with Allie. I like to keep an eye on you. Kobu shrugged. It may all be a waste of time. Mandik is overconfident. Those sentries are very good, and they know what would happen to them if they failed Praland. It won't be a waste of time, Sean said. I'll give you odds. I've gone on missions with Mandik before. He's not only good, this time he's highly motivated. He'll take that sentry out. There was no sign of the sentry when they reached the east gate. Inside, Mandik stepped out of the shadows, his expression tense. Bypass that lock, Kobu. Get moving, Allie. I turned off the guard's phone when I dragged him into the shrubs, but there's no telling if someone will get curious if he doesn't answer. I don't know how much time we have. He turned to Allie. Last chance. I'll scrub it if you say the word. She shook her head. Then take care of yourself, damn it. He turned on Kobu. Listen very well. His voice was deadly cold. Betray her, and anything that Praland would do to you will pale by comparison to what I have in mind. I'd hunt you down and never quit. Kobu flinched. She dies and I don't get the rest of my money. That wouldn't make sense. He hurried down the path. But if the woman is clumsy and gets nervous, it wouldn't be my fault. From this moment on, I'm looking at everything as being your fault. He turned back to Allie. I'll make the call to Prowland in 10 minutes. You should be in position and ready by that time. His hand reached out and gently touched her cheek. I hate this. Don't take any chances you don't have to take. He strode away with Sean following. Did he think she didn't hate it? She was scared and worried about him and Sean. Not to mention that this slimy scumbag Kobu might decide to do what this slimy scumbag Kobu might decide to do before they got out of that garden. Kobu was looking over his shoulder at her with a sneer on his face. Coming? She smothered her anger and walked quickly after him. He gestured to the west and set out at a fast pace. Right direction, at least. Mandic had said west, then the 15th window. The tiger window. Mandic stopped after going several hundred yards into the forest. He checked his watch. 5 minutes to go. Sean nodded, his gaze on the palace walls. So far, so good. Not good, Mandic said tightly. There's nothing good about this situation. She's in there, and I'm out here. You gave her a choice. She said it was her job. After I railroaded her into a position where she thought it was her duty. I think that she'd be hard to railroad. But I'm so good at it. And so hard on yourself. Okay, don't be nice to Mandic. He is an asshole. Mandic checked his watch again. 3 more minutes. I know that conversation didn't take 3 minutes. Don't bullshit me. 2 minutes. 14. The next window was 15. It was a large, multi-paned window, set back into the stone facade and trimmed with surrounding open-worked exotic metal designs. There it is, Koba whispered. I leave you now. I've done what Mandic wished. She stiffened. You're not going anywhere. That wasn't in the plan. She slipped her gun out of her pocket of her jacket. Very bad. Very awful. Horrible. Okay. You leave when I leave. You fire that gun and you'll have every guard in the palace on top of you, he snarled. But I'm only a stupid woman. Isn't that what you said? What difference will it make if I rouse the palace when that may be in your plan when you leave me? Her gaze narrowed on his face. Either way, Mandic will blame you. She could see that shook him. That last threat Mandic had made had been both fierce and terrifying. Now I'm going to sit behind those oleander shrubs behind the window. You're going to sit down 4 or 5 feet away from me, where I can clearly see you. Do you understand? Bitch. She kept the gun pointed at him as she moved toward the window. I can't talk to you any longer. Someone from inside may be able to hear because of that open metalwork on the window. Do as I say, Kobu. He hesitated, glaring at her. Then he shrugged and slowly sat down where she'd indicated. She felt a rush of relief. She didn't know if he'd actually been planning to betray her or just to remove himself from potential danger. Either way, it was safer to keep him with her until she was back with Mandic. Damn, she hadn't needed this, she thought as she insinuated herself closer to the window. She had to concentrate on Prowland, not worry about a move from Kobu. She kept her gun propped and ready in her hand as she turned her attention to what was going on in the room. The first thing she saw was the tiger, striped, magnificent, and deadly in his scarlet and gilt cage. The next thing she saw was Prowland, sitting on the couch in front of the cage. The third thing she saw was her mother, moving from the bar across the room to hand Prowland a drink. Shock. The breath left Allie's body. She had accepted the possibility of her mother's being here, not the reality. Accept it now. Clear your head. Do your job. But her gaze was glued on Gina in her sunburst orange gown. Gina, who was staring down at Prowland with a smiling intimacy that Allie had seen on her face when she had spoken to her father in Kamano. It was all there. Willing, alluring temptation incarnate. Along with confidence and power. All her life, Gina had tried to make Allie believe that she was helpless, molded by the men in her life. But there was nothing helpless about the woman standing beside Prowland. Allie could hear her low laugh as she lifted her drink to her lips. Allie tried to concentrate. Don't look at Gina. Don't think about the lies of a lifetime. Concentrate. Prowland was only a scant 25 feet away from her. If it was possible that his memory would be open to her, then the distance was right. That was a big if. She tried to probe. Nothing. That might mean his memory was not engaged. He was looking at Gina, and she could hear her mother laugh again and say something in a low voice. Prowland was occupied with her mother and what was happening now. She'd have to wait until Mandic made his call. She gave a quick glance to Kobu, still glaring at her, tense, frightened, but not moving. Call Mandic, she silently urged. Talk to Prowland. I can't get near him. Time, Mandic said. He pressed the button on his cell. There would be no ID, but Praland would be curious and wary about anyone having his private number. He was right. It rang only twice before Praland picked up. Hello. Mandic, you've called me so many times in the last 8 years that I thought I'd return the favor. But I always had a reason for calling you, Praland said. I was always delighted to see you sweat. He chuckled. After all, you stole from me. I wasn't finished toying with Simon Wahlberg. You made me look a fool in front of my men, but I've paid you back since then. How many of your precious family have I killed? 17. I'm so glad you've kept a tally. There will be more. Besides, taking of the children that seems to bother you so much. I've got plans to expand my operations in that direction. They are so very profitable. We'll shut you down. The reason I'm calling is that you've crossed the line when you had Kamano kill Lee and Natalie Wahlberg. I don't want you to sleep well again. We're getting close to you. The minute we find the ledger, you're a dead man. Ah, but you've got to find the ledger. Tell me, Praland, how does your vicious little mind work? Do you take the ledger out and go through it and just pick a name? Did you make out a death list? Oh no, when it's time, I take out the ledger and savor the moment. There's no stronger sense of power. It gives me a great deal of pleasure to select just the right victim, who will cause you the most upset. Of course, I try to pick the youngest and strongest, the ones who have the most to lose. It's the best sensation to... Dark tunnel. It was happening, Ellie thought. Dark tunnel, dark tunnel, dark tunnel. Suddenly she was there. So much ugliness. The monstrous things Praland had done. Block it. Don't think of it. Just let his memories ignited by Mandic flow over her. Get him back, you fool. Do you want me to get killed? Praland took the ancient leather book in his hands and drew it out of a compartment. Satisfaction surged through him. Time to give Mandic and those other fools another lesson in who was the one in control. He added new children taken from Ukraine in the book last month, but now it was time to play his game with Mandic. He was fading, Allie realized with panic. Talk to him, Mandic. I almost had it. You can shut up about what you did with those young kids. Praland broke into Praland's dialogue. I know what kind of monster you are. Well, you did ask a question. I thought you were curious. I'm always willing to elaborate, Praland added slowly. Much as I'm enjoying our conversation, I'm wondering why you're calling me. You issued a few threats but I don't believe you would go through the trouble of contacting me only for that. Mandic was silent. The Demonis family resources have been stretched to the max, dealing with all your brutalities and the protection we're having to give our people, which in most cases proves to be futile. As you say, we've been thinking about asking for a compromise. Praland burst out laughing. Compromise? My, how the mighty have fallen. Why should I deal with you? I hold all the power. We'd be willing to deposit an extraordinarily large amount in your accounts that would make you richer and more powerful than you could ever imagine. Really? And what in return? Only the ledger. How single-minded. But I've developed a great affection for that ledger. Still, it must be a burden possessing it, caring for it, moving it from place to place to keep us from finding it. You know will never give up trying to take you down while you still have that ledger. And if I gave you the ledger, it would be the signal for you to go after me with all guns blazing. I know you, Mandic. Even with your hands tied these last years, you've caused me trouble. You'll regret it if you refuse me. That ledger is an albatross around your neck. You can't hide it forever. We'll locate it eventually. Praland chuckled. You know, sometimes I look forward to your doing that. It would be the most exquisite pleasure that you could. Got it. Allie's heart was pounding with excitement, her palms damp with perspiration. Now get out and break the connection. Would Mandic know that she'd gotten what they needed? She never knew to what extent Mandic could know what she was thinking. That bonding was evidently stronger on his side. I'm out of here, Mandic. The thought vanished as her eyes met Kobu's. She had made an effort and kept her attention partially on the bastard, but not enough during this last moment. He was on his feet and coming toward her. Son of a bitch, Kobu. Mandic felt a bolt of panic. Get off the phone with Praland. Get to her. He started running toward the palace. If that's your answer, I'm done talking to you, he said curtly to Praland. I just thought I'd give you the chance to be reasonable. I am being reasonable. I've got all the cards, Mandic. Your calling me just confirms the fact. I almost had you a few days ago at Talboa. Next time you'll be mine. I'm going to have you to play with as I did Simon. Do you think I don't know what's going on? You thought you'd try to bring in one of your freaky kids to help you find the ledger. I doubt if it would work, but I'm blocking it just in case. Do you know who just fixed me a drink? Beautiful Gina, who wants to give me everything I want in the world. He chuckled, including her daughter. She assures me that's entirely possible. What do you think? Mandic reached the east gate. Allie was not there. He'd known she would not be. He still sensed her alarm and panic. I'm hanging up, Pronland. Call me if you change your mind. Kobu smiled as he recognized the panic Allie hadn't been able to hide. He moved toward her, his words soft and venomous. I decided you were bluffing, bitch. You're not going to fire that gun. You're scared shitless of the noise. So am I. So I'm going to take it away from you and get the hell out of here. I'm done with you and Mandic. I don't want to sleep with... I don't want you to sleep well again. So this is a weak-ass threat. True. But nothing is all that good about the way this book is written. So, what can I say? Get him away from that window. She couldn't risk any noise. She got to her feet and backed away from him into the path and onto the path. No sound. He was right. It had been a bluff. She couldn't fire that gun. And she didn't trust Kobu once. And the thing is that this wouldn't have been a fucking issue if we just let Kobu go. So whose fault was this really? I'm just fucking saying. Anyway. And she didn't trust Kobu once she had no weapon. He was a bully and killer, and he didn't like it that she had him at gunpoint for almost a quarter of an hour. Okay, fake it. Make him believe that she was terrified of what he'd do to her. It wouldn't take much. She was scared and had to control her shaking. She backed farther down the path, her hand outstretched pleadingly. She could see Kobu's expression change to contemptuous satisfaction as he followed her. He held out his hand for the gun. Did he think it would be that easy? Evidently he did. She stopped and extended the gun butt first to him. He reached for the gun. She threw the gun aside, kicked his wrist, then whirled, and her foot jerked his head backward as she kicked him in the throat. She was diving for the gun as he fell to the ground. She grabbed the gun and was straddling Kobu in the next moment. She hit him in the head with the butt of the gun, then hit him again. She raised her gun to hit him again. Enough. It was Mandic standing beside her, jerking her to her feet. I'm going to take it away from you. Okay. And he still didn't, so... pussy shit for real. Jerking her to her feet, he pushed her toward the east gate. Run. I'll take care of him. Get the hell out of here. I'll be right behind you. She ran. She was halfway to the gate when she looked back. Mandic was straightening away from dragging Kobu's body into the bushes. Then he was running after her. He overtook her as she reached the gate. Stay behind me. I didn't have time to clear the way to the jeep. We may have to wing it. Her heart was beating hard as she flew after him through the forest. Where's Sean? Right here. Sean stepped out of the bushes ahead of them. Mandic sent me ahead to get rid of the sentries when he decided that you might need a little help. He looked at Mandic. Only one, Mandic. I took him out. Good. Move. It took them only a few more minutes to reach the jeep. They piled into the vehicle, and Sean jumped into the driver's seat and started the engine. Allie was looking back at the palace. No uproar. No pursuit. She couldn't believe it. We got away? Not clean, Mandic said. They're going to find those sentries soon. Then they'll find Kobu. But we have time to get to the helicopter. That's clean enough, Sean said. You were always a perfectionist. Allie gave a shaky sigh of relief as she leaned back in her seat. It was over. All of the nervous anticipation and fear. The years of dread culminating in this night. She had managed to get through it. Okay? Mandic's gaze was on her face. Better than okay. A smile illuminated her face. Okay, face too close together. I got it, Mandic. He went still. What? You heard me. I got it. At first I didn't think it was going to work. I was only getting bits and pieces, but then it all came clear, and it was right there in front of me. The ledger? He grasped her shoulders. You know where it is? I saw it. Pronland was very proud of finding a foolproof hiding place, almost smirking. Every time you said something that had to do with you finding the ledger, it sent him spiraling back to the time when he ordered it built, or when he was taking the ledger out of the compartment. Compartment? Where the hell is it? Inside the tiger's cage. He had a false roof put inside the cage. Every time he wanted to access the ledger, he'd have the tiger removed, and he'd climb in the cage and open the compartment. Son of a bitch, Sean murmured. Talk about a built-in booby trap. No one would be eager to search that cage. Particularly since it had the reputation of being Pronland's private butcher store, Mandic said grimly. You're certain, Allie? I'm certain. She couldn't keep from grinning. Chekhov's tiger? Chekhov's tiger. Anyway, whatever. That's so funny. I can't believe I didn't see Chekhov's tiger coming. Oh, that's embarrassing. I'm certain. She couldn't keep from grinning. She felt as if a gigantic burden had been lifted from her shoulders. I saw it. Why are you doubting me? You always told me that I'd be able to do it. That's what this has all been about. Because it's too good to be true. His eyes were glittering with excitement. We have our chance now. She nodded. The code for opening the compartment is 1485. The year that the Devanas fled the Inquisition, Mandic said. She nodded. He was remembering something about having the Devanas family on the run. The hell he has. She looked back at the palace, which was now almost lost to view. Her smile faded. She said haltingly, My mother was with Proland in that room. I know. He reached out and grasped her hand. He told me she was going to be very accommodating. Evidently, she promised to help reel you in. He didn't know whether he believed you could be a danger to him, but he thought he'd play it safe. And her mother was going to help keep him safe. It hurt. It was one thing to admit to herself that Gina could betray her. It was another to see it confirmed. Kamana wasn't there. She and Proland looked intimate. It could be that she's in the process of changing allegiance, and Kamano is no longer necessary to her. Yes, I guess that could be. Smother the hurt. Try not to think about it. Focus on the positive. Damn, I really did predict that. The tiger? Chekhov's tiger? Ugh. Oh, okay, sorry. Try not to think about it. Focus on the positive. She had done what she set out to do. Or had she? Um, her eyes widened, and she went tense as a sudden thought occurred to her. Kobu. We left Kobu in that garden. When Prowlin's guards find him, they'll question him. They'll torture him. He'll tell Prowlin that he brought me to the garden and why. Prowlin will move the ledger. Mantic was shaking his head. Don't tell me no. You know what he did to Simon. I only left Kobu unconscious. That'll make him... He won't tell them anything, Mantic said. I told you I'd take care of Kobu. I did what I promised. She had a memory of Mandix dragging Kobu into the bushes. You killed him? She whispered. I couldn't take the chance. I had to make it as clean as I could. He shrugged. And I was mad as hell when I thought that he was on the attack with you. But it would have only been a matter of time anyway. I never intended to let him live. He killed Thorn. He killed Father Elwyn, and God knows how many other people over the years. It just happened sooner than later. I'm not arguing he deserved it. I'm just surprised. And I was surprised to see him lying there unconscious. He made a face. I thought I was going to rescue you. You shouldn't have been surprised. You taught me, didn't you? And very well, evidently. Sean grinned over his shoulder. But not well enough to keep him from freaking out when he thought you were in danger. His smile faded. But is there still a possibility of Prolins moving the ledger? Yes, but not if we move fast enough. There will be confusion and suspicion. Let's hope the confusion is stronger. I broke Kobu's neck. Prolin will probably suspect a man, not a woman. I planted one of Kobu's guns in his hand. Kobu had the gate codes. He knew the sentry schedules. Everyone knew he was terrified of what Prowland was planning for him. Who's to say he didn't try to find a way to assassinate Prowland? Except for the fact that he turns up with a broken neck, Allie said. That's where the suspicion comes into play. Maybe he turned traitor, then got chicken. Prowland will be trying to work out scenarios. He won't want to move the ledger, Allie said slowly. He thought it was a stroke of genius. And there's no reason... Near less than 40 pages left, nearly free. I believe in us. It will be so soon. And there's no reason he should have to do it tonight if he doesn't think you were in the garden tonight. I rubbed out your footprints on the dirt near the window, and as I said, he's not entirely sure you could do what Kamano and your mother said you could do. An element of doubt may help. He was frowning. But he may have second thoughts. We have to act before he does. He reached for his cell and pressed the speakerphone. Renata, we know where the ledger is hidden. It's in the palace. Thank God, she immediately pounced. How do we get it? Do you need men? Not to get the ledger. We have to be lean and mean. Too much could go wrong if we blunder through that palace with a full attack team. He paused. That being said, I think it's time we erased Prowland from the face of the earth. Silence. So do I. I could set up the attack on the palace as early as 9 tomorrow night. Will you promise me that the ledger will be safe? The first thing Prowland will do is keep his word that he'll destroy it and those children. I guarantee that the ledger will be safe and in our hands by the time you launch. I'm trusting you, Mandic. She paused. You were right about her? Allie was able to do it? Smooth as glass, but not without risk. I didn't think it would be. Is she safe? Yes, she's right here. She can see you. She can hear you. I'm on the way to put her on the helicopter. I'm going to need a few items flown back here right away. You'll get them. Another silence. Good job, Allie. She hung up the phone. Crazy. Allie was feeling a rush of pride, as if she'd received a medal. Renata can throw a major assault together that quickly? Allie asked. I'm impressed. It's been planned and on standby for a long time. We knew that once we took the ledger, we'd have to move fast so that none of Pralin's Confederates had an opportunity to move the children. She just has to coordinate and give the word. And trust you to get the ledger. I'll get it. How? You told Renata that you didn't want additional help before the assault tomorrow night, but Pralin's bound to have the palace on alert after tonight. I have a few ideas. Share them. Not quite gelled. And you don't want me involved. You were involved up to your eyebrows tonight. You have done your part. Leave the rest to me. And me, Sean said. I'm feeling a little cheated that I had so little to do tonight. 1 century does not a mission make. Now I'm a true animal lover, but I'm not sure I'd get along with that tiger. What do you think, Mandic? I think we'll both have an opportunity to find out. They were joking, Allie realized, frustrated. She wanted to strangle them both. She had seen that tiger and heard what Mandic had said about him. They were going to have to get into that cage without being mauled. Before that, they had to negotiate the twists and turns of the palace and avoid Prowlin and his men. It was nothing to joke about. You have to see that damn... She broke off as they turned a corner of the road, and she saw the beige and gold helicopters sitting in the clearing. A gray-haired man stepped out of the aircraft as the jeep came to a stop. Sean got out of the jeep and strode forward to greet the pilot. Out, Mandic told Allie as he jumped out of the jeep. I have to give the pilot a list of supplies. First on the list will be a dart gun with knockout darts capable of sending that tiger into the land of Nod. After that, I'll have to improvise. Then you can both get out of here. Can I? She didn't move. You always told me that I could do what I should do. What? You always told me that I could do what I could do. What I should do. When are you going to learn to ask me what I'm going to do? He went still. What's that supposed to mean? I'm not going to get on that helicopter. I'm not going to let that pilot take me to some cozy safe haven because you believe that's where I should be. That's exactly where you should be, he said roughly. She shook her head. You're done here, he said. What the hell are you thinking? I'm thinking that you're not telling the truth. I'm not done here. I'll decide when I'm done. She looked him in the eye. Prowland, come on now. She hesitated before she said haltingly, my mother. They're all responsible for what happened to Lee and Natalie. I have to make sure that they're punished for it. I'll make sure of it. Get on that helicopter. She shook her head. I told you once I wasn't going to let you be taken down. There's only you and Sean here. I can help. You taught me about weapons, to shoot, to protect myself. To protect yourself, he repeated. Not to do this. Not to protect you or Sean. Sorry. I have the skill. I have the choice. His hands clenched into fists. I'm tempted to knock you out and throw you on that helicopter. Go ahead. You're good, but you'd have to hurt me. I'd fight you. Allie. Give the pilot your list. I'll wait here. She smiled faintly. It should teach you that you can't bank on everything going your way, Mandic. I gave you what you wanted tonight. Now you have to give me what I want. He stood looking at her, his face pale in the moonlight. Don't do this, Allie. Give the pilot your list, she repeated. I hope it has a missile or two. We might need it. He muttered a curse, turned on his heel, and strode toward the helicopter. The son of a bitch. Prowland viciously kicked Kobu's body in the ribs. He turned to Brooker. How long ago did the guards find him? 15 minutes. The lock at the east gate had been bypassed. We haven't located the sentry who was on duty. Kobu knew the gate codes. Prowland's gaze went to the gun in Kobu's hand. What the hell happened here? Brooker shrugged. I told you that you shouldn't have given him that extra day to catch Mandic. Maybe he panicked and decided that he either had to run or take you out. He knew you'd never stop searching for him. He suddenly chuckled. Or maybe he decided to take out the tiger. I'm glad you find this so amusing, Prowland said softly. Kobu was close enough to that window to have me in his sights. Broker's smile disappeared. I'm having my men question everyone on duty. We'll find out what happened. The bastard was trying to assassinate me. Prowland looked down at Kobu's twisted neck. But maybe that's not all. He had to have company. I got a call from Mandic tonight. Maybe he was trying to set me up for Kobu and sent one of his men to come along to make sure that Kobu did the job. And Kobu panicked and tried to back out? Perhaps. It's possible. I won't know until I get the chance to question Mandic personally. His lips curled, and in agonizing depth. I thought he was beginning to cave, to back down, but he was trying to make a fool of me. His gaze lifted to the window and the tiger cage in the room beyond it. Gina was still sitting on the couch and looked ravishingly gorgeous, and as serene as the tiger was restless. And Kobu came too close. I'm not letting it happen again. He moved down the path toward the terrace door. I believe it's time we showed Mandic that I'm the only one in control. I learned a lesson when Mandic went against all the odds to kill Simon Wahlberg. It made no sense. I came within an inch of catching the bastard a dozen times in the following 2 weeks. Stupid. No, it could only mean Mandic might have a fatal weakness I can use. I just talked to Renata, and she said to tell you the helicopter is loaded and should get underway soon. Sean strolled back from the clearing, where he had taken the call to Allie and Mandic. It should arrive in a couple hours. Soon enough, Mandic said. We won't need it before evening. But it's going to be a boring few hours, Sean said. Anyone want to play some blackjack? I'll pass, Mandic said. One of his men. So you hate women? That he does. Allie, she shook her head. What a disappointment you two are. Don't you realize that in times of high stress, you should always keep your mind sharp and alert? He sighed and moved back to the clearing. Then I guess I'll just play solitaire and keep an eye on the road. Thank you for letting us know, Sean. That was really unnecessary. High stress, Allie thought. She supposed that was the correct term for what she felt, but it was more of a zinging, edgy state than really being nervous or in distress, which was pretty dumb considering what the next hours could bring. But she could sense the tension gripping Mandic. He'd barely said a word to her since the helicopter had taken off 3 hours ago. Well, she wasn't going to let that go on. She got up and strode over to where Mandic was sitting leaning against a tree. If we're not making a move until evening, aren't we cutting it close to getting the ledger out before the assault? A little. He looked up at her. I want it close. If we have to go on the run, I want Praland and company to still be at the palace, and not scattered around the countryside chasing us during an attack. That sounds smart. She dropped down beside him. But then you're always smart. You're planning a diversion? He nodded. A garden party like no other. Lots of fireworks. She was silent. And I am invited? Am I invited? No. He suddenly reached out and pulled her close to him. But I know it's no good trying to keep you out. His voice was hoarse. You just gate crash. Yes. She cuddled closer to him and tucked her cheek in the hollow of his shoulder. It was so good feeling the warmth, the vitality of him. I said you were smart. Now that that's settled, be quiet for a little while and just hold me. I don't want to think about what's going to happen tomorrow night. Because you're being an idiot about it. Because it's something I have to do. But there's no use dwelling on it. I'd rather do what Natalie told me to do. Enjoy the moment. Feel that joy. She brushed her lips against his throat. And think about what we've had. She was silent. I told you that I didn't know where this was going, but I believe it's coming to me. So once it clicks, you may have a problem with holding me off. No problem. His hand was gently rubbing her nape. I guarantee that I'll meekly surrender. You're never meek. You never surrender. Horse. So silly. You're the exception that proves the rule. He was silent for a minute before he said, In all ways, Allie, you have to take care. I don't think I could stand it if you... Hush. She nestled closer. I'm not used to your being this sappy. It's not like you. It makes me uneasy. I can see how it would, he chuckled. Hell, it makes me uneasy too. Okay, I'll watch it. Right, I wouldn't want you to... Her cell phone rang. She stiffened in surprise. What? Her phone had not rung since the night Lee and Natalie had been killed. She reached in her jacket pocket and pulled it out. No ID. It rang again. She punched the access button. Teresa, thank God you answered. Gina's voice was shaking. Praland said that if you didn't answer, it would be all over. Shock. Mother? Mandic stiffened, then straightened away from her. Of course it's me. It's so good to hear your voice. It's been so long, baby. I've missed you so much. Why did you run away? Ask Kamano. He didn't mean you any real harm. It was all a mistake. Then Mandic stepped in and made it worse. It was all Mandic's fault. And his vendetta with that Praland. We were all just caught in the middle. Her voice lowered to velvet sweetness. I've never stopped searching for you. It broke my heart when I couldn't find you. Did she expect Allie to believe her? Just say the words that Allie wanted to hear and expect her to suspend logic and reason? But God help her, Allie wanted to believe her. And yes, Gina probably did still think that she would go along with whatever she said was true. She had an incredible confidence in her power to attract and sway. Devanez? I think so. Because I forgot. Feeling a little silly. The fact that it just occurred to me just now. That if she's a relative of the Devanez, that means her mom or dad has to be a relative of the Devanez. So her manipulating men, might be her power. Lame. Lame. Why are you calling me, Mother? Praland. He's very angry. It's Mandic again. Praland thinks he wants to use you against him in the way your father did. I tried to tell him he wouldn't do that, but he won't believe me. She said brokenly. He said it'll hurt me if you don't leave Mandic and come back to me. He means it, Teresa. There's a tiger. A little truth, a pack of lies, a twist of the knife. And what's to stop Praland from hurting me, Mother? He would never do that. He wouldn't do that, excuse me. He thinks that what you did for your father was very clever. You might be able to do the same thing for him. Wait, you're so correct. Thank you. It's all up in the nog. Nightmare scenario. I couldn't trust him, Mother. Then trust me. Gina's voice was full and rich and brimming with affection. No matter how you feel about anyone else, you know that I love you and would never hurt you. How many times had Gina said that to Allie when she was a little girl? It had been the magic bullet to get her to do whatever her mother wanted. Gina didn't like the silence. Just come back to me. We'll make Praland understand that you're through dealing with Mandic. Then we'll go away together. Just as I've always planned to do when I found you, Teresa. She paused. But you have to come right away. You don't want him to hurt me because that Mandic is causing all this trouble. Allie didn't answer. Teresa? There was a hint of panic in Gina's voice. He means it. You have to tell me that you'll come and help me. Help Gina. Help the beautiful butterfly. I love you, baby. You won't want anyone to hurt me. Allie was silent, then said wearily, No, I don't want anyone to hurt you, Mother. She felt Mandic's muscles tense. Good, then you'll come right away? Where? Allie wasn't supposed to know where the palace or anything about the palace or anything that had happened there. Where am I supposed to come, Mother? Praland has a sort of palace in southern Tanzania. It's quite spectacular. Praland says that Mandic would know. And you think I'd come with Mandic? Praland would love to get his hands on him. Mandic will be angry with me for going there at all. He had plans for me. Then come alone. I don't care. No, that was evident beneath all the honey and manipulation. I'll be there. I won't let anything happen to you, Mother. She drew a deep, shaky breath. But I don't think I'm anywhere near that palace. I'll have to find it, and Mandic won't help. I'll try to be there by tomorrow evening. I'll call you when I'm close. She paused. But I'm not going to go into that palace until I'm sure we can make a deal with Praland to let you leave with me. I'll meet you outside the gates. Whatever, Gina said. I knew you'd never desert me when I needed you, she added softly. Everything's going to be different from now on, the way I wanted it to be in the beginning. Thank you for giving me a chance to make a good life for both of us. She hung up the phone. So clever, Allie thought sadly. So able to manipulate and shift emotions in the way Gina wanted them to go. Tell me that she didn't take you in. We kind of don't have the ability to do anything. Mandic, you're my ride. I would have to convince your stupid ass to take me there. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Let me go right away. What am I, fucking stupid? What am I, dumb? Hate this shit. Tell me that she didn't take you in. Mandic's eyes were blazing in his taut face, because from what I heard, it sounded remarkably like it to me. He grabbed her shoulders and shook her. I thought you'd gotten over that fixation, damn it. It's a trap. Okay, let me speak. God damn. You're not going to be able to make any deal with Praland or Kamano. I know that, she shrugged away from his grip. But it's a trap that could go both ways. Could Praland have traced that call? No, it was too short. I'd have disconnected it myself if he'd had a chance while Gina was giving you all that bullshit. Seemed like a long time to me. Long and painful. Now stop yelling at me. I'm feeling pretty raw and hurting. Okay. A lot of things going on in this book. You're right. I hadn't noticed. I got lost in all the lips twisting and moistening for me to have noticed any tautness anywhere. Miss Bug. You are such a good puppy. You are such a good puppy. I love you. I love you. I love you. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Okay, go away, Miss Bug. Go away, Miss Bug. Hi, go away. Go sleepy. Go sleepy, Miss Bug. Go sleepy. Oh, hi. Hello. Thank you. Lay down. Lay down. Good girl. Okay, stay down there. Okay. I need a little time to pull myself together and start thinking. I was just acting on instinct when I was talking to my mother. And that could be even worse. I don't like where that instinct is taking you. It's the only path that would get Prowland and the others outside the gates and a good distance away from that tiger room at the time of your choosing, she said. No diversion tactics necessary in the garden. I'd be the diversion, and one that Prowland and my mother set up themselves. And they'll snap you up like a steel trap. Then you think of a way to get me out of it, she said wearily, because I'm going to do it, Mandic. You'd better have a chance of getting the ledger, and it would be safer for you and Sean. I don't have your experience or tactical know-how, so I have to rely on you. Just make it work. With your life in the balance, not again, Allie. Then you make sure the balance is on my side. She got to her feet. You told me once that you believed in fate. I don't think my mother does. She believes she can twist life to suit herself. And everything she's touched has been ugly. Because I loved her. I let her persuade me to do what my father wanted me to do, which made me ugly too. Her lips twisted. Just like I said. But maybe this is the way that we can straighten it all out and use her to do it. It's too risky. Work it out, she repeated, or I'll do it myself. Don't talk to me again until you've done it. Okay. That's fucking crazy. She turned and walked away from him. There wasn't anything more to say. He would just argue, and she couldn't pay attention to arguments. As she had told him, she was hurting and raw and still a little in shock. Somewhere deep inside, there had been a tendril of hope that Gina would not use her or betray her. It had been ripped out as she had listened to her mother and remembered those words of love and coaxing persuasion from her childhood. All Gina had to do was tell her that she loved her, and she would have done anything for her. Not this time. The memory of Gina's playing her wiles on Prowland tonight was too fresh, too shocking. Don't think of those past betrayals. Think of a way that this betrayal could boomerang and do good. And stay here in the darkness of night until the hurt faded, and she was strong again. Mandic came to find her over an hour later. She instinctively straightened defensively. Don't do that, he said curtly. I've had my orders. I'm not going to be able to persuade you to change your mind. He pulled out his computer and pulled up the palace schematics. You'll drive the jeep to the west gate. That's the farthest away from the entrance to the tiger room. Timing is important. You'll arrive at 8:15 in the evening. I've told Renata to have one of her agents come here with another vehicle to pick up Sean, me, and the supplies the helicopter is delivering. We'll set out as soon as he gets here and should be back at the palace before dawn. Why are you going so early? I have things to do that may take time. Do you remember I told you that when Simon was being held by Prowland, I bribed a servant to dig a tunnel from the outer wall to the dungeon? I don't know why I added west, but fuck it, we ball. She nodded. But then you weren't able to use it. It was too late for Simon. I wasn't able to use it at the time, but Renata's agents used it occasionally to get into the palace to search for the ledger and get information. The tunnel is still there. Guards? He shook his head. No prisoners. Not since Prowland got his tiger. They go straight to the cage. I'll still have to check out the tunnel, but it won't take me long to get down to that dungeon to wait for my opportunity to get into the tiger room. He paused, but I'll also need the extra time in the dark to prep the area around the west gate for you. I'll find a way to stash a gun for you behind the stones in the wall, 3 stones up from the ground. They'll make you give up any weapons the moment they see you. He punched his finger at another stone just above the one he'd indicated. There will be a bomb behind this stone, small but very powerful. You don't have to pull this stone out. I'll put mud and gunpowder in the grout lines. Fire into it and it will explode. Make sure you're a good distance away from it. It'll probably take half the wall with it. Yes, I'd say that's very powerful, she said dryly. I had to give you your best chance. He pointed to the garden. You see these small windows that are only a few feet underground? Those are the dungeon windows. I'll set several explosives in them and around the garden and back terrace. After we've got the ledger, I'll set the bombs off. That should cause Prowl and Kamano and any of your welcoming committee to be distracted and pour back into the garden. You'll be able to get to that gun behind the stone, he added grimly. Maybe. If they don't decide to shoot you before they go to find out what's happening. I don't believe that's likely, but be ready for anything. Sorry, I have to run another ad, and I'd also like to take painkillers because my head hurts. So I will be right back. Everybody sit tight during the ad. Okay, sorry, we're back. Okay. But be ready for anything. I will. How much time will you need to get the ledger after I show up at the gate? Thank you, it's good to be back. At least 15 minutes. We have to make sure Prowland isn't anywhere near that tiger room. Once we shoot the tiger with the knockout dart, he should be out in 5 minutes. Then we have to jimmy the lock on the cage and get to the compartment. And then get out of there. And get to you, Mandic said, if you're still alive. I'll be alive. I want to live, Mandic, she said. And I want you to live, so be careful with that tiger, she smiled faintly. Or I may be the one to have to beat down those walls to come and rescue you. He didn't return her smile. I can give you a gun. I can give you a bomb. I can't help you stall Prowland for those 15 minutes. That's up to you, and it may seem a long 15 minutes. If he gets suspicions and starts wondering if that's what you're doing, it's all over. Forget giving me my time and play the game his way. He shook her head. It has gone his way too long. It has gone my mother's way too long. I'll do what I... She stopped when she saw the flashing lights in the north sky. There's your helicopter. Let's hope the pilot didn't forget that knockout dart for the tiger. It's a very strange request. He won't. I made that a priority. I was thinking about getting a dart that would kill him, but I was afraid we might have to postpone the last minute, and that would tell Prowland that we wouldn't... And that would tell Prowland that we knew about the ledger. So afraid we might have to postpone at the last minute, and that would tell What the fuck are you saying? I don't understand what he meant by that at all. Horrible. Horrible. And that would tell Prowland that we knew about the ledger. I was gonna say, no, me neither. I'm glad we're on the same page. And that would tell Prowland that we knew about the ledger. He started for the clearing. Then he suddenly turned to face her. I'm not going to waste my breath trying to talk you out of this. His voice was harsh. But you do everything right. Do you hear me? You don't get emotional because of that bitch of a mother. You think about you and the life you have to live. And maybe you think a little about me and what it would mean to me if you get yourself killed. He turned back and started for the helicopter that was landing. Do it right, Allie. Okay. I hate your goofy ass, and I hope you die in there. Sandic Palace, 8:10 p.m. 5 minutes. She should be at the palace in 5 minutes. Allie's heart was pounding hard. Dear God, she hoped that Mandic and Sean had managed to get inside and were safe. She hadn't heard from them since early morning. Just as they were approaching the palace, Mandic had told her any communication was dangerous. Assume everything was all right. Keep to the plan. Allie drew a deep breath and took out her phone. She pressed the call back for Gina. I'm about 5 minutes away from the palace. I told you I'd phone you. She should say something else. Are you still okay, Mother? I'm fine, but Prowland doesn't like the idea of coming outside the walls. You come in, baby. No, I told you how it has to be. I have to make sure you'll be safe. According to my map, I seem to be driving toward the west gate. Meet me outside and we'll talk. Allie heard her talking to someone in the background. Then Gina was back on the line. He said he has been having you watched for the past several miles, and you seem to not be trying to cause him a problem, but he still doesn't like it. I'll try to persuade him, but you should really outside those walls. Allie hung up. Prowland had been having her watched. Of course he had. Gina could be mesmerizing, but it would be difficult to believe she'd been able to persuade Allie to take this risk for her. He'd think Mandic would be shadowing her. Instead, she hoped desperately that Mandic was already in the palace and waiting to make his move. 3 more minutes. 2 more minutes. From the dungeon window, Mandic saw Prowland and Brooker crossing the garden toward the west gate. Gina was smiling as she came forward to meet them from the guest quarters. No guards in the garden itself. Yes. He turned to Sean. Allie got them outside. But God knows how long she could keep up the distraction before they closed in on her. He started to wriggle up the narrow tunnel to the window he'd already loosened and unlatched. Move. 1 minute. Allie saw her mother come through the west gate. Prowland and Brooker followed closely behind her, but where was Kamano? Gina was smiling at her, and Allie felt a ripple of shock. Her beauty was no surprise. She had been aware that it had not faded when she had that glimpse of her in the tiger room. She had expected her to still be beautiful, but if anything, her mother was even more stunning. She looked older, but it was as if maturity had merely enhanced and deepened that glowing beauty. butterfly, fairy princess, and her smile had the same warmth and affection it had when she'd been the only caring person in Allie's world. For an instant, Allie felt the same dazzlement she'd experienced as a child. Then she saw Pralin step forward to stand beside Gina. Her mother looked up at him and smiled proudly, pride that she had delivered what Pralin wanted. Allie's pain was like a dash of ice water, washing away everything but what she had to do. She slowed the jeep until it finally came to a halt 20 feet away from them. I'm here, Pralin. So you are. Pralin's gaze slowly went over her. Your photos don't do you justice. You're quite beautiful. Maybe more beautiful than Gina. Bullshit. No, true. Now throw out any weapons you have on the ground outside the jeep. Brooker, go pick them up. She had known that would come. She could risk the holster at her calf that held her dagger as long as she didn't get out of the jeep, but she had to give them something. She threw her gun in the dirt, followed by a spray container of mace. Brooker quickly retrieved them and took them back to Pralin. Her hands clenched on the steering wheel. She didn't try to hide it. Showing a few nerves wouldn't hurt. Now tell me how you and I can come to a deal that will keep you from hurting my mother. Pralin chuckled. You're either very naive or very cunning. The minute you came within the sights of my gates, you lost any bargaining power you might have had. I don't have to give you anything. Gina laid her hand on Pralin's arm. That may not be true. Don't be unkind to her. You said that she might have value to you because of Mandic. Perhaps you could persuade her to call him and bring him here. I don't need your suggestions, Gina. I'm not Kamano, he said coldly. That's exactly what I had in mind. I'm skeptical about the harm you say she could do to me with that trick Mandic thought she could pull off. I went through a whole gamut of Devana's so-called mind readers. None of them could touch me. No, that's not the way to get Mandic. He may be angry about having her walk into your trap, but he has a weakness. He smiled at Allie. He rushed to rescue Simon Wahlberg. A few phone calls, a body part or two. Let's see how much he'll take before he decides he has to come calling again. He won't come. He only had one use for me, and that ended when I came here. Allie looked at her mother. And I'm not naive. I just want you to let her go. She's my mother, and I can't seem to stop feeling something for her. I realize you probably didn't hurt her, but you could. Yes, I could, Pralin said, but she's been both helpful and entertaining. It would be a shame to have anything happen to her. Thank you, Gina smiled at him, but you wouldn't do that. I've done everything that I've promised. No, I might need a call from her to Mandic. It depends on whether it would hurt your beautiful daughter to see you in pain. For an instant, Gina appeared disconcerted. You're joking. Really? Pralin looked at Allie. Am I? No, you're not joking. That's why I want her out of here. And I've already refused to discuss any deal. He took out his gun and pointed it at her. And I believe it's time you got out of the jeep and came to join us. I have a feline friend to whom I'd like to introduce you. That's really funny. They said, time to go get the tiger. It's time to meet the tiger. You know, the tiger that I use to do my evil bidding. That's what he fucking sounds like. Next book I read, I should do voices. I feel like it's only fair. If I'm gonna read something, I really ought to perform. Don't you agree? I think I will. I think I'll do voices next time. So true. I'm glad we're in agreement. So next book we pick, Colleen Hoover's It Starts With Us. So Cinderella Phenomenon of you, where you struggled every time. Oh my god. Okay, but to be fair, I started running out of voices. One of the things that I wanted to do this summer was to learn accents so I could do more voices on stream. Like, I wanted to learn how to voice act. And there's this one woman on, like, TikTok / YouTube Shorts / whatever, who is a voice actor, and she talks a lot about her, like, voice acting experience. And so Timmy Turner from Fairly Odd Parents was voiced by a woman, and there used to be a market for women voicing young boys. This was a TikTok / YouTube short / wherever the fuck I saw it. About this thing. About this phenomenon. Exactly. That's her. That's the woman as a young boy voice actor, among other things. I couldn't really tell you what else she did. But yes, I Raven. Okay, thank you. I know she did do a lot. I just don't remember any of them. Cuz she sounds very familiar cuz I'm pretty sure she did something on My Little Pony. Don't quote me on that though. Anyway, moving on. That was a crazy sidetrack. I have so little left. I need to lock the fuck in. 8:22 p.m. The tiger had fallen unconscious, and his breathing was steady and rhythmic. But was his state deep enough? Mandik wondered. It had taken him longer to go under than it should have. Almost 7 minutes. He had to take a chance. He couldn't stand here and wait while the clock was ticking, and Allie was having to hold off Prowland. I'm going to start jimmying the door of the cage, he told Sean, who was keeping watch at the window. He started working at the bars. Any sign of trouble? Not yet, but you may find it inside that cage, Sean said dryly. It's only been 4 minutes since the cat went down. He's a strong son of a bitch. He may decide to rouse and he stopped and held his breath as the tiger suddenly half lifted its head, then let it fall back. Go very slowly, Mandik. Mandik was working quickly, frantically at the lock. That's no longer an option. Time's running out. 8:23 p.m. It was too soon, Allie thought in a panic. She hadn't been able to stall long enough. She hadn't given Mandik enough time. Keep calm. Go down another road that might intrigue Prowland and keep him occupied for a few minutes more. Allie looked him in the eye. I'm not going anywhere with you until we come to an agreement. Put down that gun. Prowland laughed incredulously. You're not listening. I hear that you say my only value to you is as a lure to bring Mandik here. That's a lie. We'll see, won't we? Yes, we'll see right now. Because Kamano and my mother are right. I can go in and read your memory and almost anyone else's that you tell me to read. My father found that a treasure trove. I don't know how he used that information, but I'm sure you would be able to think of a multitude of uses. We could make a deal. You wouldn't be sorry. Prowland was staring at her curiously. It might be of interest, if it's true. It is true, Prowland, Gina said quickly. How many times do I have to tell you? He ignored her, his gaze on Allie. She appears to be certain. I find Gina a little transparent, but I'd be interested in just what memories she has in that gorgeous head. Why don't you tell me? Oh no, Gina said. I'm different. I'm her mother. She's never been able to read me. How unusual. He looked at Allie. Is that true? I could read her. I've never wanted to do it. I don't want to do it now. Then she'd be a perfect case to prove what you're able to do. That you're able to do it. Go ahead. Gina was gazing at her warily. Go blank. Please don't give me a memory, mother. Concentrate. Nothing. Dark tunnel. A whooshing and Allie was there. Too easy. It had come too easily. Gina's memories, provoked by that weariness, were clear and without conscience. Such a pretty black bottle with a gold top. She'd known she'd have some use for it when she'd seen Kamano becoming unmanageable. White powder mixed with his coke. Everyone would think it an overdose. Just a little more and she'd be through with Kamano. He'd become such a bore and no use to her at all. Prowland could take his place and give her more than murder. The shock sent Allie spiraling back out of the tunnel. Evidently not pleasant. Prowland said, Would you care to disclose it? No. She looked at Gina. I was wondering where Kamano was. He's ill, she said quickly. We didn't need him. No, I can tell you don't. Our lovely Gina has actually turned pale. Prowland was laughing. I'm beginning to believe you might actually have read her memories. He shrugged. But she's your mother. Could be different. There's someone else's memory. That's someone else's memory, not mine. You too, Allie said quietly. Test me. Pull up a memory you want me to identify and think about it. A circus trick? Test me. He was already testing her, she realized. His memories were sweeping forward, enveloping her. Dark tunnel, dark tunnel. Screams, agony. She almost threw up as she read the memory he'd brought up for her. Get away, get away, get away. She jerked her. Oh, God. I'm so fucking irritated with this style of writing. It's so bad. She jerked herself free and leaned her head on the steering wheel. Damn you. I just wanted you to know what was in store for you if Mandik doesn't cooperate. Tell me about it. Simon Wahlberg. The night you were torturing him. Amazing. I'm feeling quite vulnerable. And that was dangerous for Allie. Mandik, where are you? It had been over 15 minutes. He'd be here. Distract Prowland. It wouldn't be fool enough to put you in a vulnerable position. I'd be working for you. She glanced at Brooker. Would you like me to read his memories? I imagine he has quite a few he wouldn't want you to know about. Brooker's eyes widened in alarm. Kill the bitch, or let me do it. Can't you see she's a big-time threat to you? Or to you, Pralin said softly. Interesting possibility. I'll have to think which... Kaboom. The... Kaboom. The explosion inside the walls rocked the ground. Why does it say... Why is this the most calm kaboom I've ever fucking read in my life? Make it all caps! Make it bigger on the page! Add an exclamation point! Something! Kaboom. That's how that reads to me. Kaboom! Or whatever. Exactly. Like, what? Okay, whatever. It's fine. I'm not upset. You're upset. The explosion from inside the walls rocked the ground. Another blast immediately followed. Mandic setting off the signal that he had had the ledger and to draw Prowland away from her. Thank God. Prowland was cursing, already running for the gate. Gina was right there after him. What the hell's happening? Brooker, get those guards in there. Allie dove out of the Jeep and rolled under the vehicle. Get to that fifth stone in the wall, take out the gun, and fire a bullet into that bomb. But Brooker wasn't following Prowland. He was coming toward her, firing under the Jeep. Wait until he got closer, then roll out and grab his legs and bring him down. Got too smart, didn't you? Brooker asked. Let's see how smart you are after I blow your head off. She braced herself to launch, and the wall behind her exploded with a tremendous blast. It knocked Brooker to the ground. Go after him. But Mandic was already on top of Brooker, his hands on his throat. He must have set off that bomb in the wall that she had been struggling to reach, she realized. The next instant, Mandic had his knife out, and the blade was sinking into Brooker's chest. Then he was jumping off him and pulling Allie from beneath the Jeep. Come on, I don't want to leave you here. Prowland's men are going to be all over the place. We have to get back to Sean, who, if he dies, I will be very upset. I left the ledger with him and sent him back down into the dungeon. He was pulling her through the nearly destroyed wall. But Prowland is going to check that tiger room through the ledger, then send his men all over the palace. I have to take him out before he gives that order. Smoke. Acrid smell of chemicals. Allie could dimly see armed men in camouflage gear moving around the garden and over the walls. Bombs were exploding at several points near the dungeon windows in the garden, and the smoke was getting thicker. And so was the confusion and misdirection, she thought gratefully. They had reached the terrace, and Mandic pulled her over the flagstones toward the tiger room. They heard Prowland cursing before they entered the room. He stood before the door of the gilt cage, which was hanging off its hinges. He was staring down at the tiger, still unconscious on the floor of the cage. He's not dead? Gina standing close beside him. He was so pretty. I think he's still breathing. But you can get another one if he's dead, can't you? You fool. Prowland lifted his gaze to the empty compartment in the cage ceiling. Shut up and get away from me. I've got to get it back. You don't mean that. I'm here to help you, Gina said. From now on, everything I do will be to help you, Prowland. Didn't I bring Teresa here for you? Yes, you did. And me too, Mandic said. Hi, Mandic. From the doorway as he barreled into the room. Get down, Allie, you son of a bitch. Prowland whirled and raised his gun, dodging behind the velvet couch. Gina screamed and dropped to the floor. You think you'll keep that ledger? Prowland shouted. I'll find it and I'll burn it in front of you while I cut off your nuts. Annoying. Lame. Loser. He got off a shot that splintered the door jamb beside Allie. And then I'll start on that freak that you brought here to trip me up. No, you won't. Mandic was moving, crawling across the floor. Because you're a dead man, Prowland. Crazy. Brooker will be in here in a minute with my men. He got off another shot, which thudded against the velvet cushion, inches from Mandic's head. I have an army, and you have nothing. Brooker is in hell. He won't be coming to help you. He tilted his head, and by the sound of the firing and shouting out there in the garden, I think your so-called army is about to join him. Renata decided it was time to take you down, so I do believe the troops have arrived. Allie could hear the sound of the helicopter rotors overhead, but it could be too late for Mandic if Prowland got to him. She instinctively started to crawl toward him. No, Mandic said sharply. Allie, let me do it. She kept crawling and reached into her calf holster for her knife. I'm only a backup. I won't let him kill you, Mandic. You can see how worried she is, Prowland said. She's smarter than you. She realizes that you're nothing compared to me. I'll take you down and cut you in two. He grunted with pain as Mandic dove over the couch on top of him. His gun discharged, and Allie saw Mandic flinch. Shot. Mandic was shot, she thought frantically. But Mandic straightened, and the gun flew out of Prowland's hand and across the room. Prowland's fist arced upward, striking Mandic in the jaw. He pushed Mandic off him and went for the gun. Here! Gina had the gun and was pushing it toward Prowland. I told you that I... She screamed as Allie's dagger entered her hand. She jerked her hand away from the gun and her bloody palm. You hurt me. I hope so. Allie picked up Prowland's gun. Don't move or I'll do it again. There was no chance for Allie to use the gun. Prowland cursed as Mandic brought him down once more. Prowland's eyes were glittering wildly in his contorted face. Look at you. You're bleeding. I did that. I hope you bleed to death. I'll get out of this. And I'll find that ledger. The killing will go on. It will never stop. Oh my god. Loser. Loser. He's the most annoying villain I've ever seen in my fucking life. The killing will go on. It will never stop. I'll call you with name after name, body after body. It will stop. Mandic's hands were around Prowland's throat. Now. His grip tightened. I wish I could drag it out, make it more painful. But I have to get you out of there and protect the ledger from that scum you keep around you, so this will have to do. Prowland's eyes were bulging from their sockets as he fought for air. No! Yes! Mandic's hands twisted, and Prowland's neck broke. Mandic sat back on his heels and drew a deep breath. Burn in hell, you bastard. The next moment he was getting off Prowland's limp body and turning to Allie. Come on, we've got to get to Sean and get that ledger out of the palace. All hell's breaking loose out there, and I promised Renata it would be safe. She was already on her feet, her gaze on his shoulder, which had taken Prowland's bullet. You're bleeding. We should stop and... Later. He moved toward the door. I promise I won't bleed to death. I wouldn't give Prowland the satisfaction. Kamano? He wasn't out there to meet me. I'll have Renata's people pick him up. He won't survive the day. As Allie started... What? What? Who give a fuck about that guy? Piss off! He won't survive the day. As Allie started to follow him, she glanced at her mother. He might not have survived it anyway. You're leaving me here, Teresa? Gina asked incredulously. I'm hurt. You did this to me. Can't you see I'm bleeding? I can see it, Allie said. But no one survives better than you do, Mother. I'm not going to worry about you, she asked mockingly. Why don't you call Kamano and tell him to come and take care of you? I may do that, she said defiantly. You're right. I always survive. I don't need any of you. Allie nodded. But we all have to learn to survive you. Goodbye, Mother. She hurried to catch up with Mandic. Gina couldn't believe it. How could they do this to her? Her hand was throbbing with pain, and she was bleeding. She would need a doctor, then a plastic surgeon to take away the ugliness. But first she would need help from someone. She glanced at Prowland. All his fault. He should have been able to kill Mandic, and this never would have happened to her. Kamano. He was her only salvation now. She would have to use him until she found someone more powerful to meet her needs. She reached in her pocket and drew out her cell, and dialed Kamano. He answered immediately. What the hell's happening? It looks like a small war is going on in that garden. It's terrible. You have to help me. Are you in our suite? Yes, I just woke up. I'm groggy as hell. Where are you? The tiger room. Prowland's dead. I'm hurt. Come and help me, then we'll get out of here. Right. He hung up. It would be all right. She had handled it. Kamano opened the door of the tiger room only a few minutes later. He glanced at Prowland. Who did it? Mandic. She held out her hand. And Teresa did this to me. The bitch. I'm bleeding. Bandaged it. I don't have time. He walked over to the cage and looked down at the tiger. I was afraid he was dead, but I see he's stirring. He's opening those big yellow eyes. You don't have time? She stared at him in outrage. What do you mean? I'm hurt. Take care of me. He went over to the terrace door, opened it, shot the outside bowl, and closed it again. I took care of you for a number of years, Gina. I might have continued since you're so entertaining. He went toward the hall door. Then you got greedy and decided that you didn't need me any longer, but you couldn't risk making me angry. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small black bottle with a gold lid. I'm not a fool, Gina. I know about drugs. I've been having strong after effects from the coke. Grogginess after waking, dizziness, increased heartbeat. Today I decided to go hunting for answers. He held up the bottle. I found it in your cosmetic bag. I tasted it. Very carefully. I tasted it? Very carefully. Don't worry, I didn't poison myself by tasting the poison. So all is well. Kamano's okay. Don't worry, everybody. He tasted it very carefully. I'm so fucking pissed off. What do you mean you tasted it carefully? Smelling it carefully, I would have believed. I would have been like, okay, you know, I investigated it, or like, I know what it is, I've seen it before, etc., etc. I tasted it very carefully. Ooh, this book is so bad. Anyway, um, it was bitter, and if I sent it to a lab, which you should have, rather than tasting it, I bet it would have come back with a skull and crossbones on it. Very intelligent of you to say, Kamano. Very nice. You're wrong. You're just guessing. She moistened her lips, had to get one last one in. We still have time for more, too. What year is she from? Anyway. You're wrong. You're just guessing. She moistened her lips. I'll prove it to you. Just get me out of here and we'll talk, and I'll show you. He was shaking his head. You'll show me nothing. That's over, Gina. He slipped the black bottle back in his pocket. But I'll have the lab check this when I get back to the States. However, it may be too late for you. What do you mean? You've always been proud of... Do we have to kill the woman? I don't like where this is going. Do we have to kill her? Like, low-key? I feel like it would be more humiliating for her to not have a man to, like, you know, crawl around with, but we're gonna kill her. Which is, I feel like, annoying. But whatever. You've always been so proud of being a survivor. Let's see how really good you are. He looked at her hand. Blood can be so appetizing. His gaze went to the tiger in the cage. The cage door is broken. It would take only a swipe of his paw and it would fly open. The tiger is going to wake up any minute. She started for the hall door. I'm getting out of here. No. He held up the key. That wouldn't be a test at all. The terrace door is locked. I'm going to lock this one as I leave. We'll see how well you survive, Gina. No! The hall door was closing, and she heard the sound of the key turning in the lock. Kamano, come back here! She heard him laughing as she walked down the hall. She started to jerk at the door. She started to jerk at the doorknob. He couldn't do this to her. When she got out of there, she'd kill him. He was a complete... She froze as she heard a sound behind her. Soft but heavy, like a tiger getting to his feet. Silence. Then she'd heard him batting at the broken door. She screamed. Lame. Lame. Loser shit. And I am talking about Kamano here. I'm not mad at her for not being able to get out of this situation. I'm pissed off that for some reason the author felt it necessary to kill her. Okay, I have so many thoughts that I will share once we're done with the book. He'll be alright, Allie, Sean said. Sean might live. Which is positive. He'll be alright, Allie, Sean said, as he sat back from putting the temporary bandage on Mandic's shoulder. As good as you can be with a bullet in your shoulder. His brows rose. Very clumsy of you, Mandic. My respect is crumbling into the dust. That had better be a decent bandage. I told Allie I wouldn't bleed to death. His gaze went to the walls of the palace a good distance away from the jungle to which they'd run several minutes ago. That was a very bad sentence. I'm not going to reread it, but I'm pretty sure it was bad. I think that the fighting's dying down. We should be hearing from Renata soon. Fighting with who? Who are we fighting? Like, did Renata's gang, like, come in? Or... Because I don't know. It's been unclear. I texted her with our location a few minutes ago. When you should have been still so that he could get that bandage right, Allie said. She looked down at the ledger on the ground beside him. The ledger's brown leather was simple and unembossed. It appeared old but still smooth and rich from the careful handling of centuries of Divaneses. It's the first time I've seen it. It doesn't look as if it has the power to cause all this trouble and disaster. Prowlin caused the disaster. Mandic's hand gently touched the book. The ledger has saved thousands of Divanes families and individuals through the centuries. It will save more in the future. It just has to be... You have it? Renata was hurrying toward them through the jungle. Her eyes fell on the ledger and she broke into a run. Thank God! She snatched the journal. The children's names and locations? They're in there, Mandic said. Sean glanced through the last pages when he was waiting for us down in that dungeon. He said Prowlin was very precise. Bastard. Renata was looking for herself, rapidly turning the pages. I'll send out people right away to retrieve them before they can be moved. Her gaze shifted to Mandic's shoulder. You said everything was okay in your text. You don't look okay. What have you done to yourself? A bullet, Sean said. Prowland. I've just been telling Mandic how clumsy he was. He needs to get that bullet out, Allie said curtly. So take your ledger and get him out of here, Renata. Renata's brows lifted. Orders? I'm not accustomed to taking orders, Allie. Bullshit. Do you expect me to now tow to you because you snap your fingers and all your people jump? I know I'm right. You'd have said the same thing the minute you got here if you hadn't been dazzled by that damn book. True, she chuckled. Maybe I'm getting a little arrogant. It goes with the territory. Okay, whatever. She turned to Mandic. Can you walk? My helicopter is in the clearing. I'll take you to Megan's clinic for treatment. He can walk. Sean was already helping Mandic to his feet. We wouldn't want to pamper him. He's prone to arrogance, too. I love Sean. He's the only normal motherfucker in the room. It's... Anyway. Oh, shit. Happy 9 out of 5, everybody. I've noticed. Renata started through the brush and toward the clearing. It's a wonder we get along so well. Then her hand lovingly caressed the journal. Or maybe not. You give great and wonderful gifts, Mandic. Thank you. You know how much this means to me. I know. Stop talking, Allie said suddenly Allie was suddenly beside Mandic, putting his good arm around her shoulders. Get him to the helicopter. Lean on me, Mandic. He smiled. Delighted. I don't mind being pampered. I deserve it. We all deserve it. It was one hell of a... He stopped, his head lifting. Smoke? His gaze went back to the palace. Renata? Fire. Oh wait, Allie's gaze followed his, and her eyes widened in surprise. Thank you for your happy 9 out of 5. It is appreciated as always. Fire. Flames were leaping toward the sky. In a few more minutes, the entire palace would be engulfed. I told them to torch it, Renata said grimly. The entire place stinks of corruption and killings and torture. I don't want a stone left standing to remind anyone that Prowland was ever here. Prisoners? Prowland's men were all running for their lives when I left the palace. We'll hunt them down and dispose of them if they survived. I don't want anyone taking over like Prowland did when his partner Melina was killed. It stops here. If they survived. Allie had told Gina that she had to survive on her own before she had left her. Was she one of the people fleeing through these... So she didn't get got by the tiger. She's definitely got by that fuck-ass fire. Damn. She had to survive on her own before she had left her. Was she one of the people fleeing through these jungles? If she was caught, would she manage to manipulate her way to some sort of safety? Allie? Mandic said. Her gaze shifted to his face. She knew what he was wondering. Renata's words had sparked a response in her that was pure instinct to reach out to Gina. And Mandic knew Allie so well, her past, her present, every emotion that had guided her through those years, the chains that held her to Gina. She slowly shook her head. She's on her own, Mandic. She tightened her arm around his waist and looked straight ahead. Let's get you to that helicopter. The operation went well. No complications, but Mandic will have to stay for an overnight observation, Megan said as she came back to her office where Allie was waiting. He's in room 8. Relief surged through her. May I go back to see him? I'm surprised you ask, Megan smiled. You were issuing orders all over the place when you brought him to me. Renata complained about that too. Got its ass. Renata would. I understand that it's a part of your basic nature. I would have quashed it if it had gotten in my way. Besides, I was feeling very warm and benevolent toward you at the time. Renata told me that you'd helped get to the ledger. She went across the room to gaze at the child's photo on the bulletin board. We've got them, Elizabeth, she said softly. They'll all be safe. Rest in peace. Oh my god, you're fucking annoying. Allie felt her eyes sting. Yes, rest in peace. She swallowed hard. So what's next for you, Megan? I'm not sure. Like everyone else in the family, I've been geared to fight Prowland and do damage control. It seems strange to have to worry about that. It seems strange not to have to worry about that any longer. I guess I'll stay here at the clinic for a while until I'm sure it's in good hands. After that, I have some research to do about my particular talent that I had to put on hold. Her brilliant smile suddenly lit her face. And I'm going to grab my husband, check into a hotel in the south of France, and make love to him for a month, maybe longer. That sounds like a great topping for a plan. The best part of it, she shrugged. All the rest is duty and discovering the ways to make life make sense. But Grady is my life. Grady. LMAO. A random-ass side character, he's still got a shitty-ass name. I actually knew a Grady back in high school, but that's beside the point. She checked her watch. And I have a date to call him in 10 minutes. She made a face. God, it will be good not to have this long-distance marriage. Mandic, Allie reminded her, you didn't answer me. May I go back to see him? Sure, but he may still be a little woozy from the anesthesia. She grinned. Or maybe it will make him mellow. Wouldn't that be different? Yes, it would. Allie headed for the door. And unprecedented. 2 minutes later, she was carefully opening the door to Mandix' room. There was only a dim light illuminating the darkness, but she could see that Mandix had his eyes open, and they instantly focused on her. Get me out of here, he said impatiently. Definitely not woozy. Certainly not mellow. Can't do it. She sat down in the chair next to his bed. She said one night's observation. I'm fine, damn it. Talk to Megan, but she's on the phone with her husband right now and won't be very cooperative if you interrupt her. He scowled. I'll wait. She smiled. I'm sure she'll appreciate it. He was certainly sharp. Entirely Mandic. Lord, she was glad. Do you really feel fine? Pain? Do you need medication? Anything? He was silent. I need to look at you. I need you to hold my hand. Whatever, loser. And I wouldn't say that about anybody else. Like, oh, you want to hold hands? So true. Happy for you. Hope you get to hold hands. Him in this book? Fuck you. Okay, anyway. There are several other needs on my list, but I don't think you'd meet them right now. She reached over and took his hand. I need this too. She felt an instant sense of rightness, bonding. But you should probably not talk or Megan will kick me out. She's busy talking to Grady. There's a nurse down the hall. He lifted her hand to his lips. I'll risk it. Why? Just rest, Mandic. If I doze off, I'm afraid you won't be here when I wake up. I can't let that happen. There are things to be settled, and I don't want to have to run halfway across the world to find you. What things? You, me. What else? That's all that's important. His hand tightened on hers. You're thinking that it's over, done, that all the years and the bonding will just fade away into the past. I'm not going to let that happen. She went still. Why not? What the hell? Did she think that? I was getting no indication that that was the case. But sure, fuck it. Say whatever. I don't care. Because I can't give you up. It has to go on. His voice was low, intense. I think I love you. I know you're still wary of me in some ways, but you do feel something pretty close to the way I feel. Maybe. I don't... All I'm asking is that you stay around. Give it a chance to grow. I was kind of under the impression that we already knew that we liked each other. I'm confused. Why are we acting like it's a maybe situation? Whatever, it's fine. And where would you be? You're a searcher, and that's not going to change. Am I supposed to wait around and be at your beck and call? We can work it out. No, I've already worked it out, she said firmly. While I was sitting waiting for Megan to dig that bullet out of you, I have things to do with my life. He was tense. I'm not letting you go. Okay, don't be an asshole. Be quiet and listen. The first thing I have to do is go back home and contact Dantlow. I'm done with hiding. If Kamano is out there, I'll go after him. If not, I have a head full of hideous memories that belong to some of the biggest crime families in the U.S. Dantlow will get what he's always wanted. I'll testify before a grand jury. You'll be a target. You'd have to go undercover again, with witness protection. She shook her head. I'll let Dantlow cover for me, but I have a different sort of witness protection in mind. His eyes narrowed. And that is? Renata. I'll go work for her and let her protect me. She smiles. She'd be far better than Dantlow. She knows all about secrets. After all, she's the keeper of the ledger. Oops. Had to make sure that cringe went through. He gave a low whistle. You might make it work. I will make it work, because Renata has all kinds of truly exceptional agents at her disposal. She paused. And tops on her list... Okay. Tops her list, or the top on her list. You can't have both. But I'll let it slide. Or did I? Did I cringe already? I can't remember. And tops on her list, I'll give it one just in case. Mandic. And tops on her list is you, Mandic. You should be right at home managing my protection. She tilted her head. If you choose to accept the assignment. He tugged at her hand. Come here. She stood up and moved to sit at his bed. Is that a yes? I need the words. The bonding was there between them, strong and enduring as it would always be. Still, she would say the words. We're both afraid to commit, but I'll be braver and take the plunge. She looked directly in his eyes. I don't think I love you. I do love you. But I don't know all the facets or ins and outs of it, so I have to learn it. She smiled. Megan had a great idea. She's going to take Grady to the south of France and make love to him for a solid month. I don't care where we go, but I'd bet we'll come out of that month knowing what we are together. No bet, he said, and I do love you, Allie Gerard. See, it's already starting. She kicked off her shoes. Now try to scoot over without hurting yourself. I'm going to lie down and hold you for a while. He took her in his arms. That nurse will be scandalized. She'll get over it. I'm not going to have sex with you. I'm not an exhibitionist. What a disappointment. Or maybe I will, she sighed. No, that would be totally without conscience, considering your delicate state. Delicate? Is a demonstration in order? She cuddled closer to him. The only demonstration I want is the one you're doing now. I feel treasured and loved. And you are, forever. Don't cry. Accept the gift. Give it in return. Oh my god, we had to end the book with this stupid bullshit. Whatever. Live every minute with joy and love, Natalie had said. Oh, I'm starting, Natalie. Can't you tell? How am I doing? Oh my god. Bro, the last line of the book was bad? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Who would... Oh my god, bro. Some bullshit. Whatever. Oh man, that shit was ass. And 3 wasted pages? I hope this picture of her is old a little bit, but whatever. Because this was released in like 20... Damn! She's got crazy published books. With Roy Johansson? No way. She wrote something with her husband. Lamau. Another one. That's kind of cute. Like, if she were a better writer, it would be kind of cute to write something with your husband. Unfortunately, she's really bad throwing a man into the mix. Oh my god. Fucking forget about it, dude. That'd be terrible. But anyway, I am going to adjust the camera now. So, hold on. Actually needs to go back. Pretty bad. Welcome to the screen. Thank you. It is good to be here at a bit of an interesting angle. Whoa. Okay. Oh, it's because that's really dark. All right. All right. Low key, adjusting my camera is my worst fucking nightmare. Ugh. Lefty, yeah. Motherfucker, how tight did I do this? Alright, there we go. Anyway, so we're done. This may be returned to the library officially. For which I am very glad to get this out of my way. I'll do that on Monday. Crossing fingers I fucking remember. Let's fucking go! A crisp 303 cringes, which I'm pretty sure we ended Ugly Love with like 200. So this was a bad. By about 100 more cringes, which that's good. Glad we got that figured out. I've actually been thinking about doing like book review TikToks or whatever so okay. I have a posting plan. I've had posting plans in the past, but this one goes by a new name. Operation Super Turbo Post. pretty good name, which means it's foolproof. I will get so many followers. I guess I don't actually give a shit. It's funny, why do I even do this if I don't care? Much to think about. Anyway, no matter. I treat it like a business. I'm like, we all do things we must. I went to a meeting earlier today about getting my money moved from a Roth IRA into the market or whatever. I don't really know where she's putting it. I'm going to be really honest with you. Well, I do know where she's putting it. She's putting it in some fund, the American Growth Fund, some stock market tradey markety bullshit, right? She started talking to me. She was like, "Yeah, this one looks really good," and she like pulled it up for me to look at, and like, so it was like what percentage of shares were like in this fund, and one of them was Nvidia, and I was like, ooh. Hopefully that doesn't go awry because I'm crossing fingers the AI bubble pops soon because holy fuck, that shit's annoying. Please die. AI die challenge, impossible difficulty. But but yeah, she was like showing me like Tesla was on there and I was like, this is who I'm like this is who I'm giving my money to. But you gotta play the game. And I didn't want to tell her that. I didn't want to be like, I don't really give a shit about anything. I just want to play the game. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care what you do with my money so long as it makes money for me. Because as it stands right now, with the like almost $5,000 I have in my account, if I leave that and don't touch it, on average, if I leave it in this dumbass fund, it'll be $150,000 by the time I hit 65 years old, which doesn't like in my brain. I'm like, that ain't shit because it's not. That is literally nothing and will be nothing way down the line. Like with inflation and stuff, $150,000 is going to be fucking worthless. So obviously you have to put more money in it and blah 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 blah. And luckily, because I plan on teaching, I'll get like retirement benefits and shit. Because I will have worked for the state. If things go okay, in terms of the state existing. Things of that nature. Lucky. What can I say? Which, I mean, you could always change career paths. It's not... And to be fair, you will be making more than me simply on the basis of you picking a different career. I will be making some bullshit money, and then way down the line, I'll be getting a little something something for taking a shit-ass job and kind of eating it. So, we all must pick our poison. That's simply how it goes. But anyway, the point is that posting is similar. It is a game I must play, because if I want to entertain the masses on twitch.tv, my brain finishes that with .com, twitch.tv.com. I think I've made that joke before, but no matter. If I am to entertain the masses on twitch.tv.com, I must market. And to market, I must post. And to post, I found this stupid dumb fuck video that was like, if you want to grow in viewers on Twitch, you have to post on other platforms, but you can't rely on your Twitch brand. You have to rely on something else. You have to post other shit, not Twitch related shit, on other platforms, and then that will pull them over to your Twitch if they give a shit about Twitch. And that changed my life, because obviously I'd been posting for a very long time, and those fuck-ass clips that I was posting didn't get any fucking views. No one gave a fuck about any of them. But the speed paints did great. So, here's the plan. I have my notebook in my backpack, which I won't get out, but maybe I will, I'm not sure. But I figure what I could do is I could do, speed, so I do a warm up and that will turn into a speed paint and a study of some kind. So I have a guaranteed one image at the end of every week. So then I can post a work in progress of the bigger piece that we're working on throughout the week, and then a smaller piece that will actually get done. And on top of that, I will learn something from the piece that I'm doing, which I feel like is good because I figured my art brand, because while I will sell part of my soul to the algorithm, I won't do so wholeheartedly because that goes against everything that I stand for. I won't follow trends because I'm stubborn and an asshole. But I will do whatever I want. Like I'll post non-Twitch related stuff most of the time, but I'll post a little Twitch thing or two. And that's not a crime. They can't fucking arrest me for that. But I won't be following trends because that'll really irritate me and it'll be super soul sucking. So I'm gonna make content that I actually like to make, and I like to do art critiques and I like to do reviews of things. I like to analyze. I'm very media brained. And that's kind of that's one of the things that appeals to me so much about teaching art in the future is a lot of it will be critique oriented and like critical thinking oriented to get people thinking about the stuff that they're seeing and the stuff that they're making. So I think it'll be a good direction to take it for me to do art critiques and also talk about like learning in the way that I like the stuff that I'm making, like this is what I'm learning while I'm doing these things. Because I am the first to admit that I am not the greatest artist of all time. I still have growing to do. I like the work that I make. It's better than it was a year ago. Like the art fight piece that we're working on right now, which I could open and work on right now, but I'm talking, so but like the art fight piece that I'm working on right now is fucking leagues better than anything I've made digitally for a very long time, and I haven't been drawing digitally consistently at fucking all. The only reason it's that good is because I randomly applied new knowledge that I've been learning passively for a while. I'd fucking hope so. Well, passively, no. I would say it's passive. Like, I was passively applying the knowledge that I've learned actively. Like, I've been going to school and I've been learning new things, etc., etc. I wouldn't say that the specific things that I applied on the thing that I'm working on right now were really actively learned during school, but certainly I was like, yep, this all makes sense, and it all clicked in my brain somehow as I started to work on it. And I feel like that's really cool and something that I would enjoy discussing. And I can discuss it right here, right now, but that doesn't mean much, and won't do anything for me in the grander scheme of the game I'm playing. The posting social media algorithm game. So those are my thoughts on that. I'm really hoping it works in terms of like, wow. Thank you. I really hope it works in terms of like having a plan. I have this huge fucking list of all this bullshit that I'd have to start doing on Sundays, which is why I would really, really, really need to have a rock solid chore chart / chore bead situation finished so I do my chores consistently throughout the week, take care of myself halfway decently throughout the week, and then be ready for all this stuff on Sundays. And what got me through KVCC, I mean the old school that I went to, Lamau, the community college that I went to, I would say was having a strict rule of no homework on Sundays. I simply wasn't allowed. We shall be productive tomorrow. I mean, there's not much time to be productive tonight anyway. It's almost 10 p.m. And productive at this point is take a shower and go to bed on time. I also like your tiny letters. I am very charmed by them. But yes, I would like to be productive tomorrow, but I did have a very nice time today. Because, to be fair, I was productive this morning. Because I had that fuck ass meeting and I took Bug to her appointment. Which are both things that I needed to do and get done. Um, you're welcome. So it's fine, but it's fine that I didn't do anything this afternoon. And I also got to play Tamagotchi Life, which I was very excited to do, and I'm excited to continue doing. In fact, I might take my Switch back and make some more Miis. But I don't know, we'll see. Too far. I also liked to set. But yeah, we'll be more productive tomorrow. I believe in us. Our rooms need to be clean. We need to take Bug to the bath. I didn't want to bother her today because she went to the vet. I was like, that's too many places. I don't want to bother my dog. She didn't seem as tired or fucked up as I thought she would be. Which is good, but I still didn't want to like drag her around, you know what I mean? So I just left her. I was like, we'll do bath later. But she does need to take one, especially one, we need to ask about getting her nails clipped, and two, her fur is fucking everywhere. And I think I need to get better about brushing her. It's just she fucking hates being brushed. And I hate the hassle of brushing her, and I don't have a lot of time to begin with. So it's just like, you know, like when do I do it, etc., etc. So, but we do have a good dinner thing going on where she has dinner in the evenings. I think she does like it during stream, like at like 7, 8ish. So maybe like before stream, I'll give her dinner. Like I'll take her outside before stream and then I'll give her dinner. But yeah. Anyway, my frames are dropping like crazy for some fucking reason. I couldn't tell you why. But they're certainly having a rough one. Chat, do you want to be done, or do you want me to piss around for the last half hour? Be honest. Because I'm sure my frames will recover shortly. Hopefully. I don't see why they wouldn't, but... You never know. Damn, girl, stop reviewing my profile. I ain't posting anything. It's so bad right now. Oh. Maybe I quit then. I kind of don't want to, though. Ooh. My stepgirl, that's so funny. Oh no! Okay, anyway. Oh no, nothing serious, just one of my classmates is transferring. Yes, I sent that chat ages ago. And I'm sure, just as I'm sure you sent that one ages ago as well. I'm gonna go ahead and let it go. Not sure what's going on. My bad. I will see everybody and this fucking... Okay, next week I'm going to raid. Maybe tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow I will raid. I can't really right now because the internet's dying, so I can't tell you where we're going, and I want to. I had an idea for what... Anyways, I am going to let you go now. thank you everybody for hanging out with me while I finished up that fuck-ass book. I'm gonna write down my thoughts and maybe you'll see them on TikTok later or some shit. I'm not sure. I will see everybody tomorrow for the We Play stream. Promised that 8 million years ago, and now I'm finally delivering. So I will see everybody for that. Godspeed out there.